Alrighty, everybody, welcome to tonight's LAS Draft Grand Finals between Outlaws and Marauders. Tonight on the analyst desk here, we've got me, Vordaddy, and Wolven Alchemist. Uh, what are your thoughts on tonight's best of five, Wolven?
I am super hyped tonight. Both teams have been proven that they are playoff, materials. You have the Marauders who have Angrotus, who is as insane as a jungler, and then on top of that, you have Mako from the Outlaws, who has just proven time and time again, no matter what champion he plays, he can carry the game.
Definitely, definitely. Any picks you're looking out for?
Any picks? I'm hoping to see Angrotus's Kindred. I know he's like super comfortable with Kindred. But I'm also hoping to see something spicy from the Outlaws because I've been hearing from time and again that they're doing something different. I heard that there's rumors that Mako is going to be going in the bot lane
Interesting.
instead of playing mid. So if that's the case, I'm hoping to see some of the Fly's mid lane picks because the Fly has a lot of hidden mid lane picks that people do not know about.
Definitely, definitely. You've got a plethora of ADCs now that can go to the mid lane. Mini mages, definitely very capable of that switch, which would give them somewhat of an edge in the draft, I would assume. Anything crazy
Mm-hmm.
you're expecting out of Marauders here?
Marauders, I'm expecting Marauders to pull out something that we never expected before because you have to understand they are going up against another super good team like the Outlaws. So I'm expecting because if Shishin's playing tonight as ADC, I'm expecting Shishin to try to pull out his Aphelios.
Definitely a good champion. Been buffed a couple times past few patches. Little here and there, but it's starting to rack up. Seeing
Mm-hmm.
play even in the pro leagues.
Yeah, you've been seeing Aphelios with Thresh. That's a combo you do not want to disrespect.
Alrighty. What are your predictions here for the
My
ultimate score here at the
my
end of the night?
my predictions. It might make a lot of people mad, but I'm thinking Outlaws are going to win it 3-2. I'm thinking Outlaws are going to win the mental game in the long run, and they're going to take it. What about you, Voy? What are your thoughts?
I think I'm aligned with you a little bit on that one. I'm maybe I'm a little more biased. I was gonna say 3-1 for the Outlaws, but we'll see. We will definitely see.
Yeah, I'm super excited because I could be proven wrong and Marauders could win it too. But I'm hoping to see a great series. I hope I'm seeing 5 games. I really want to see 5 games tonight. So far, I don't think we have a 5 game finals. So I'm super hoping that we get 5 games tonight.
Perhaps tonight will be the night.
And any thoughts though before the teams get started?
Uh, no, I think just about everything's been said. I do believe we are waiting on small delays here, so
Mm-hmm.
we can continue on. Uh,
Are there any picks you're expecting Defoe to bring out in the mid lane?
uh, if it's anything like last week's game, the Graves stuck out to me. Definitely something interesting.
Yeah, I've seen I've talked to Defoe. Defoe has a lot of champions in his champ pool now. Um, I have seen him play not only Graves, but I've seen him. He put up LeBlanc. He can play the Brand. He can play Vel'Koz. Malzahar, I think, is his main champion that he loves to play the most. So it's quite curious to see of all these champions to see what he's going to pull out. We'll see if he can pull out anything new. I do know only one person on the Marauders can play Gwen, and but I don't know if they play Viego. So I'm assuming that the Gwen is gonna be a ban for the Outlaws.
Could definitely see that, especially with Orenji on the Outlaws playing it.
Mm-hmm.
This game one, believe it's going blue side for the Marauders, so we will
Because
see.
don't also forget that Mako also put out Gwen too and played it. I
Very
think it
true,
was
very
during,
true.
yeah, yeah.
Strong flex
So
pick.
I'm also expecting the Twitch ban. I'm expecting the ban Twitch on the side of the Marauders. There are two really good Twitch players on the side of Outlaws, and I don't expect that champion to go through whatsoever.
Definitely not. Very strong snowball champion, and we'll just run amok in the in-game team fights.
Mhm. Now the question is, do you think that Silas is going to be banned from Mako?
Hmm. I think it really depends on what the Marauders want to go for. If they're not pulling fairly strong ultimates, going for more stronger base kits on champions, maybe not so much. Or if they just think they can pull a good matchup into it.
Mm-hmm. Because I have seen countless times that Mako's been, he pulls out the Silas, he pulls, plays it really well. But not only that, he can also play, as you saw in last splits finals against the Turnip Tots or the Gators per se. He pulled out Tristana mid and played extremely well. So I'm curious to see if he's gonna pull out like an ADC in the mid lane, like you said. There's a bunch of ADCs that can play in the mid lane, or is he gonna go that traditional mid laner? If he goes mid, like I said before, there has been a lot of rumors that he's going ADC. If he goes ADC, I'm wondering if the Marauders are gonna give him his Vayne, because his Vayne is something you not want to mess with.
Definitely another strong late game carry there with the Vayne. If he can make it through the first 20 minutes of the game.
And I'm also seeing people still talking about the LDR Corky. I don't think we're gonna see LDR Corky tonight. I could be wrong, but I don't think we're gonna see that tonight, guys. What are your thoughts? Do you think Outlaws are going to pull out something spicy tonight, or do you think the Marauders are going to be the one to pull out something spicy?
I think starting off in this first game, there's good chance of it. First game, test
Mm-hmm.
the waters, throw something out there that maybe they want to just pull off that quick win out of it with the shock factor of it. It's totally possible.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but
And
as the
don't
games go on, I think more tried and true methods are going to be gone for unless things are looking very desperate.
Now, I do know this is Shishin's second time playing with the Marauders. I don't know if he played outside with the Marauders, but this is his second time playing with the team officially that I know of. And I think that's going to affect the team quite a bit because the Outlaws had that time where, they can play together. They've been playing together all split. And they have that synergy. Do you think that's going to affect the Marauders? Do you think Sishin, had just been added to the roster, is going to affect the bot lane mental?
I think it really depends on what kind of practice they've been getting outside of the Monday night games. If they had been, doing their due diligence, playing together, I think it's totally possible that the mental is going to be there, the coordination. But if they haven't been, then that could definitely come up in this best of five.
Yeah, I do agree. I do know Nair was a really strong support, so I feel like Nair can hold them together pretty well. But you also got to watch out for Gurf. Gurf has been showing up quite a bit. His first time in the draft, and this is his first time in finals.
Definitely.
So you have to give him props. So I'm super excited to see what Gurf pulls out in the bot lane, because we've seen Gurf pull out as Galio. We've seen him pull out. I think he played Thresh one time, and I think he's also known for his Morgana as well.
I just want to
So
see the Heimerdinger. That's all I'm here for.
Heimerdinger's support. I would love to see Heimerdinger support. I really would love to see Gurf play as Heimerdinger. I've only seen Gurf play Heimerdinger once, and that was in the name round, and he did destroyed with it. So being able to see him play Heimerdinger tonight was going to be great.
Definitely be a show. As it does look like we are coming up close to starting the draft here, so
Any last thoughts before we go on? One thing I have to point out: do not forget, Outlaws was brought to a 5-game series against the Hornets, and I think, if I remember correctly, Marauders 3-1 the Dragons.
they did in fact 3-1 the Dragons out of a good set of wins.
And Dragons were first place in Pool B, while Outlaws was, I think, were they second or fourth? I think they were second. Yeah, I think they're second place.
Outlaws are in fact, I actually don't know and I don't have it in front of me. But yeah, no. Does look like we are ready to go into the draft here, so we'll go ahead and throw things over to our casters, Kevbo and Daydream, and we'll see you after game one.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the grand finals of the LAS draft. I am Daydream, joined here by Kevbo, and we are watching the Outlaws versus the Marauders in a historic series. Kevbo, give me your thoughts. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm very excited. This is my first finals cast ever. So, definitely excited to be a part of this one. Got to see a little bit of the teams play in the regular season and a couple times in the postseason, but really haven't gotten to see too much from either squad here. They are people that I played against in last season's draft. I know Orenji actually won last split um, from the top lane. So this will be an interesting one. As we see our first bans coming through, going to be a Yone immediately taken off the table.
Yeah, Yone first ban by Marauders. It makes sense. I mean, Mako is absolutely terrifying on that champion. I would not want to play against it, and it seems the Marauders do not want to either.
Yeah, and we're getting a lot of jungle bans now. Echo, of course, can be played jungle. Don't see it too much, but a double jungle ban coming out here uh, for the Outlaws.
Yeah,
Going to be getting rid of Graves and Kindred there.
yeah, I mean, Graves Kindred, very strong carry junglers, and Grotus is definitely the focal point for this Marauder squad. Diana is the third ban for the Outlaws as well, just really pinching Grotus' pool, but it doesn't matter. Gwen, first pick for the Marauders. My bet that's going to Grotus.
Yeah, definitely nice, but they leave the Nocturne up. Nocturne a very strong pick as well right now. We'll have to see where that one does end up going. Can be flexed to a lot of roles, but I believe its highest win rate right now is in the jungle. So
Yeah.
we'll see how Outlaws can transition on that one. But I do want to point out here, their first 3 bans were very quick for the Outlaws here. I think they prepared a lot for this one, it seems.
I really would hope they prepared a lot. Considering this is in fact grand finals, I want to see some high quality League of Legends drafts. And you know what else I want to see? I want to see some Lulu gameplay from Gurf.
Yeah, this one's going to be interesting. I haven't seen him play that one, and definitely an early pickup, but Kog'Maw is also available, so they can go for a nice early Cog Lulu with a Nocturne. Really triple lane flex. You can play it in both of those solo lanes or in the jungle, but a Sivir going to come out here. Very strong champion, lots of lethality. I actually got to play a game of Sivir, I believe, yesterday, and it was uh, definitely an interesting one, but we'll have to see how the Marauders are going to deal with this one. Spell Shield doesn't do too insane amount of things against a Lulu, but we'll have to see what they pick as their next couple of picks. I'd imagine
Sivir
Marauder's
is
gonna pick up another support here though.
Sivir is super interesting considering that Varus is available. Varus has not been picked or banned, but Marauders still preferring the Sivir
Let's
and the
go.
Blitzcrank lock-in. I mean,
Oh man, I
I
told
guess
him
the
to.
Marauders are assuming that some sort of hyper carry will be paired with this Lulu. So picking the Blitzcrank early in order to shut down a potential Kog'Maw Jinx Bane seems to be the lock-in for Defly. Bane Lulu bot lane, similar to the idea of a Twitch Lulu or a Kog'Maw Lulu or a Jinx Lulu. You want to get this Bane scaling, you want to get this Bane all of the support, and hopefully the Vayne will carry you.
Yeah, we're gonna see a bunch of solo lands banned out here. I'm surprised to see a brand ban. I guess that can be played mid lane. But
Yeah,
definitely would be a little bit of an interesting one. Ziggs, I think, is a very good ban here, going to give them more wave clear. The
Brand
one
and
thing
Ziggs are definitely two of Defoe's like quintessential picks. He's definitely the type of player to play, those type of mage champions. I personally have seen his brand, and it makes sense that the Outlaws are very scared of it.
Yeah, I imagine we're going to see another solo land ban coming out here from the Marauders, though. And it's actually going to be a Gnar ban. It looks like we'll have to see what Outlaws want to pick here. I imagine you either pick your solo lane or your top lane here. We'll have to see which direction that one goes. Definitely going to be looking, I think, for some tank in the top side. But we'll have to see. I think both teams lacking a little bit of tanky stats at the moment.
Yeah, Outlaws most likely just gonna stick RNG on the blind pick. Give him the short end of the stick. 'Cause they really want to play around
Ooh.
Mako. That's an Irelia. Irelia, this is post gameplay update Irelia. Definitely considered to be a lot stronger. Her early game did get hit a little bit, but just throughout the rest of the game, like the Irelia changes definitely feel like a straight buff. Of course, Irelia is still a very hard champion to pilot. I wonder if RNG is up to the task. Certainly the Outlaws seem to have their faith in him.
Yeah, definitely a very strong pick there. I've played against a couple that have made my day not so great, but we'll have to see what Marauders want to round out the comp with. Gwen can still be flexed to a solo lane, but they do have to show their hands here, and that is the tanky stats you were looking for. Mundo
That
going
is
to go onto the top side.
Dr. Mundo. Very big, beefy, again, a champion that has been newly changed. Looking, I guess, I mean, Blitzcrank is sort of tanky, but he's not a meat shield. He's not a frontliner in the same way the Madman Dr. Mundo is. Well, it will be tough for him to survive against this Irelia. Irelia does have a lot of just raw damage in her kit that possibly could abuse a Mundo early.
Now they could also flex the Gwen still. Flex the Gwen and Mundo, see which one does actually end up going into the jungle, but it's actually going to be a Nico pick, I'd imagine, going into the mid lane. Very squishy champion, but has an insane amount of damage in her kit. So definitely an interesting draft coming out here. Ooh,
Kale.
Hail. Okay.
Kale. So maybe what they want to do is they want to send this Irelia to the mid lane perhaps and give Kale the scaling matchup against the tank. I mean, we can't tell whether or not the Outlaws are going to put Mako on the Kale or the Irelia, but they have the opportunity, using the flex pick of the Irelia, they sort of have the opportunity to really get winning solo lanes. The problem with the Outlaws draft is I don't see a lot of frontline there. You have Nocturne in the jungle. Your team's lacking a lot of like AoE CC that can really create space for this Kale and for this Vayne to pop off.
Yeah, I see the Outlaws team and I say, I wish I was playing Blitzcrank this game. Definitely a lot of good targets to hook here. Are going to be a little bit hard to kill maybe with the Overgrowth and the Kale ult as well. But still, if you land a hook onto anyone over a wall or something like that, they should just be dead at this point. It's going to be very hard for Outlaws to maneuver in this one, especially because their team requires a lot of scaling here. Nocturne's going to be the only one who's really, I would say, strong in the early to mid game. Unless someone gets accelerated a lot, it's going to be very hard. But we'll have to see what these players do decide to do. I am very interested to see who goes jungle and who goes top lane here with the Gwen and the Mundo. I know we saw one Mundo jungle in the LEC, but not usually where he's being played at the moment. So I'll have to wait and see where that one does end up going.
I'm gonna call a 90% chance on Gwen jungle. I think just the way Marauders play, they want Ingrotus on the Gwen, they want Ingrotus on the carry. Plus, I had the lucky fortune of being matched with Ingrotus in solo queue today, and he did pull out the Gwen jungle. So maybe
Okay.
I'm a little biased. I was blessed by the solo queue gods, and he did pop off. I feel like he's practiced this pick. He's very confident. Gwen was designed very recently, so she's perfectly balanced and fine-tuned. But both of these comps, I'm not sure. It's gonna be a very scrappy game. You can see both teams have a lot of things that the comp is lacking. On Marauders, like, they have a lot of magic damage. Mundo with his cleavers is magic damage. Gwen, all magic damage. Blitzcrank Nico, that's magic damage. The only real source of physical damage that you have is the Sivir. And if Station Ints goes the lethality build, you're not going to have any physical DPS. And Sivir, even going like crit Sivir, you need to scale a long time for that build to get online. And you really don't want to rely on scaling when you're facing a Vayne Kayle with a Lulu on them. Then on the side of Outlaws, you have this problem of having no frontline that I pointed out earlier.
It is actually going to be Aurelia in the top side, and Kayle in the mid lane, it does look like. So going to be a pretty interesting one here. And Grotus going to be, it looks like, piloting that Gwen, like you said. Going to be a pretty strong pick, but I don't know really if he does win that first scuttle grab contest without some teammates there. So we'll have to wait and see how this one does go. I'm definitely interested to see how this Nico into Kayle matchup goes. It's going to be pretty interesting. Like you said earlier, I think the Kayle into Mundo matchup seems a little bit better. I don't know if they'll just have those players lane swap once they get into game. But we'll have to wait and see which direction this does end up going.
I'm not sure if I like the idea of putting the Irelia into the Mundo. Like, you have a free lane matchup to let this Kayle scale, and if RNG on the Irelia plays it properly, Defoe's Nico is not going to be able to do much. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it comes down to what the players are comfortable with, but the Outlaws could be, shooting themselves in the foot a little.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to wait and see which direction this does end up going. It's going to be, I think, a pretty tough one for both teams, honestly. A lot of nerves going into this one. And really, I think both of these teams, there's a lot of execution required on both sides. I think it's going to be really hard for these teams to get a lot done. Outlaws, of course, like I said earlier, they have to scale a lot in this game. I mean, Vayne and Kayle, it's going to be really hard to do much on them in the early game. Gurf, of course, has to hover Heimerdinger. It's a requirement. Just like I have to hover Blitzcrank. But we'll have to wait and see how he does pilot this Lulu. Going to be, I'd say, a pretty close matchup. I do think that the Marauders should win early. But we'll have to wait and see in the jungle how things go, whether or not the Nocturne can't get it.
I mean, definitely, if you just look at these lanes, Nico in the early phase definitely outshoves a Kale. That is, of course, if Mako on the Kale is going mid. Sivir Blitzcrank, especially with Sivir's Boomerang Blade, definitely will outshove the Vayne Lulu. So Ingrotus, if he wants to, can just start topside, get free bot crab, because none of the outlaws lanes will be able to help Maki contest. So if Ingrotus paths correctly, he definitely can sort of get around the early game weakness of Gwen jungle.
So I'm definitely interested to see how Shishin and Nairo do decide to play this one. I'd love to see them get an early freeze, honestly. You really want to look for those hook engages onto something like Lulu and Lane. That's something, as a little bit of a one trick, I love seeing these squishy enchanters, just because if you can get your jungler to come, or you can get a freeze down in the bot lane, it makes it so free, at least in the laning phase, to just deny CS and even look for kills a little bit. But do have to be very careful in this one, because if the Vayne does get ahead, it's going to be really hard for Sivir to do much, or even their really tanky member in the Mundo is going to have a real rough time if Vayne can get a lot of those autos down to him.
Yeah, I mean, this Mundo, while he is definitely the tankiest champion in the game, is going to have to go up against like the shred that comes with playing into a Kale, into a Vayne, into an Irelia. It's like, it's cool that your team has frontline, but they are against a team that does fairly well into frontline. It's not like the Outlaws are going to be walled at all by this Mundo unless he gets massively ahead. And on the other side, not having any frontline on the Outlaws, that might kind of hurt them, because if Nairo hits a hook onto anybody, it's going to be very easy for Nairo to get that kill secured. A Blitzcrank hook goes straight into the Nico route, takes a Boomerang Blade to the face. There's so much I guess, there's so much of an ability for the Marauders to burst down any targets that, is out of position.
Yeah, Vision is going to play a big part in who is going to get ahead in this early game. I think if Blitzcrank can get those early game hooks onto those opposing champs, get them bursted out before early objectives, is going to be very strong. Something else I do want to point out is I think Anathema's chains on the Mundo here is going to be absolutely massive. I'm definitely interested to see if Astrid is going to rush that.
But
I might not.
Chains? Who do you chains? Everyone's gonna be dealing damage to you.
So, Mundo, because he scales off of that health, is going to get more stats just because of his health, on top of the fact that you can put it on whoever is the carry on the other side. So, for now, though, we're going to throw it to a little bit of a break, and we'll catch you all once we are into the game.
Welcome to the world, no heroes and villains. Welcome to the war, we've only begun. So pick up your weapon and face it. There's blood on the ground, go and take it. You get one shot to make it out alive. So higher and higher you're chasing. It's deep in your bones, go and take it. This is your moment. Now is your time. So prove yourself and make them remember that you push through hell and Welcome to the world, no heroes and villains. Welcome to the war, we've only begun. So pick up your weapon and face it. There's blood on the ground, go and take it. You get one shot to make it out alive. So higher and higher you're chasing. It's deep in your bones, go and take it. This is your moment. Now is your time. So prove yourself and make them remember you. Pursue Helen. They will remember you. Welcome to the climber. Reach for the summit. Visions pray that one falls steadily the end. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your blood, don't take it. This is your moment. Take to the sky. Prove yourself and make them remember you. They will remember you. It is you fight among the dead beneath the dirt.
Welcome, gamers, to Summoner's Rift. We see here game 1, Marauders versus Outlaws. Marauders on the blue side.
And that's exactly what we were looking for. A nice early DC. It wouldn't be a best of 5 without a pause at some point. But here we go. Gives me a little more
Oh, we're
time.
back.
Oh. Hello?
Is it frozen
My-
for you as well?
Yeah, my game is just frozen. So I'm not sure what's going on here, but it does give me a little more time to finish my thought that I had earlier. I think Mundo is definitely going to build Anathema's chains here and put it on whoever is carrying on the other side, or if he wants to, he can just put it on the Kale in the late game and negate any sort of AP damage that's going to be coming in, and he can just build
It is
AD the rest
unfrozen
of the
for
time.
me. Is it unfrozen for you, Kevbo?
Yes, it is just rolling, and it looks
Alright.
like both teams expecting the invade with the Blitzcrank. Definitely a good champ to invade on, but they did
Yeah.
not expect the top side invade. So we'll
I
have to
mean,
see what does end up happening here. It might turn out that Angrotis can, if they don't get if they don't pick up on this, he could even get triple buffs here. So we'll have to see which direction this one does go.
yeah, I mean,
But it looks like he is going to hang around for that one. But Nocturne walking over.
yeah, we see pings from both teams just on all of the buffs. Looks like an altercation may happen. We see the Outlaws trying to venture into their own red side. Orenji looking to be the first target. Oh, walks in with the mastery ping. Nico E goes wide. Orenji flashes over the wall. Action looks to give chase with the cleaver.
Ooh,
Hits
he's going to
blood.
get chased down.
Corrupting pot popped. As we see on the other side, Mako and Maki both looking to continue this fight. Defoe misses his second route. It looks like Maki wants this red buff. Axrid coming back, looking to try and zone Maki away. Where's the smite going to go down? And Grotus auto smites gets leveled 2. Looks like Maki just will not be able to pick up the red buff, slinking away in defeat.
Yeah, but Aurelia is going to get to the way first. So she'll have a little bit of an XP lead. But I imagine Angrotis, like I said, it looks like he might be looking for. Ooh, Nairo barely misses there, but it looks like he might actually be able to get the triple buffs. Instead, he's just going to contest the Raptors here.
Yeah, RNG, not RNG, Angrotis rather, does not pick up the Raptors. Smite goes down from Maki. both junglers 4-4 right now as RNG with the level lead looking to get some revenge onto Axrid. It's a lot of early game action happening right now.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's definitely what you like to see, these players coming out and being confident in this first game. Are going to see a lot of slowdowns here for a little bit, but maybe if Blitzcrank can look for something as a nice root comes out from Defoe there. Nairo doesn't realize he's not in the bush, but also there's a ward, so it doesn't really
I
matter.
mean, I think he realizes, I think he's just sending a message to Defly and Gurf. Speaking of sending a message, Nairo pops the ignite onto Defly, flash
That
in,
was
knocked up, heal goes down. Looks like there's not going to be a kill going down as the Boomerang Blade goes wide, but exhaust burned from Gurf, heal burned from Defly, all for both sums on Nairo. So I guess it's a 2-for-2 summoner trade, but
I wonder if Nairo's uh, rocket grab was on cooldown there because of the E knockup. You can immediately throw out a Q afterwards, and it's a free combo. Defly would have died there if he had landed that combo with the ignite on top, but does not end up throwing out the rocket jump there. So I'm kind of intrigued as to what was going on. But Angrotis, very far ahead here, did pick up that bot scuttle, got all of his camps on top side, I believe. So going to be looking pretty strong here.
yeah, but while Angrotis did pick up the bot scuttle, RNG used the early lead that he got in the top lane. But wait, Defoe might look for the solo kill. No flashes are going to be burned. Mako walking away, very low HP. But as I was saying, Maki was able to trade the top crab as well as RNG getting a ward inside of the Marauders jungle.
Yeah, Mundo having a really tough time here into the Aurelia just with the attack speed from the Q. Nairo going to miss another hook a little bit to the right.
Oh,
RNG going to go
RNG
back in though.
stun is blocked, forces the flash from Axrid. RNG without his own flash from the level 1, unable to look for anything more, but it seems the Irelia into Mundo matchup, RNG is definitely winning out on this one despite the early setbacks from the invade.
We'll have to wait and see what does end up happening there on that top side, as well as Ingrotus looks for a little bit of a. Looks like he's actually just going to invade the wolves here of Maki, so we'll have to wait and see. It looks like they will meet in that top jungle. He does not have priority in bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, Defy crashing the wave. Now Angrotis is seen, just looking to walk away. I don't know if Maki can really do anything about it. As we see Angrotis with about a 1 camp lead onto Maki. Looks like he's going to start up the dragon too. I guess his bot lane has reclaimed priority, so he feels confident about making this play.
Yeah, and I'm sure. I have never played Gwen jungle, but I'm sure with the attack speed from the E, you can probably take that one solo pretty early. Bot lane is going to roam over and help him out, though, just a little bit. So we'll have to wait and see. RNG going to take a little bit of damage from the bone saw there, but doesn't look like it's going to turn into anything right now, though. Marauder is kind of dominating the vision control, especially on this bot side. Look at the wards just on that bot side have every entrance to Maki's jungle covered, as well as the river. So definitely have some good priority there. Going to pick up a plate. Nairo's still looking for something with this hook.
Yeah, I mean, like I said in Champion Select, I mean, Angrotis correctly identified that Defoe on the Nico would be able to outpush the Kale, and Sation with the Boomerang Blade able to just keep lane control over the Vayne Lulu. And Angrotis has in fact disconnected and reconnected. Minor pause there, but it looks like we are back into some League of Legends gaming.
Yeah, definitely. Very nice to see. Dushin is very low on the mana. They're going to need to back off here soon as the game freezes yet again.
I think it's a side effect of all these pauses, but while we have this opportunity to talk about this game state, tell me what what do you think about the 500 gold lead? Oh, never mind. We're back. We're saved.
It definitely is very nice. That 500 gold going to do a lot. It does come from, I think, really this dragon. But right now, RNG absolutely dominating in the CS on the top side. As a nice hook
Oh,
comes
sound.
in.
Onto Gurf. Defly looking to take this trade. Goes onto Station. Gets Ignite popped on him. Heal, flash exhaust. Pause in the middle of the fight. Oh no.
Oh, and they're gonna get a TP and
First,
first blood over the vein.
first thought over the
Oh
vein
my
as
gosh.
the vein freezes from the pause. Right now we see
Riot, fix your
Nairo.
game. Riot, fix your game, please.
Nairo
Oh
mid
man.
auto attack animation onto Defly. We see that Defly did pick up the first kill onto Station. I guess when Blitzcrank did target Gurf, it did allow Defly to free hit. You see the TP coming in. This is from Defoe with the ultimate. The flash tumble from Defly gets him out, but he gets rocket grabbed by Nairo, and the kill goes over to Defoe. RNG looking for the trade. He is level 7 against Axis level 6. Vanguard's edge goes down. Mundo just running away. RNG with the solo kill onto Axfrid. And while things did look a bit dicey, it is in fact a 2-for-1 overall. I mean, it was a 1-for-1 in the bot lane, but the solo kill in the top lane makes the overall play a 2-for-1.
Yeah, definitely turning into a little bit of a rough early game. They were able to pick up that one kill, but Renji with the solo and the other kill going on to the fly, that is exactly who you want these kills onto. Maki also going to have the level 6, can just ult into any lane he wants now. Nairo had a very nice rocket grab, but the fly noticed as soon as he hooked and used the knockup that he had no cooldowns. The cooldowns for Blitzcrank early are so long. So because they weren't able to kill Gurf quickly, the fly realizes that, just stepped forward and absolutely executed Shishin.
Yeah, I mean, Season, I guess, playing a bit overconfident. He did have a big CS lead, but Rocket Grab, field goal, but goes for the knockup onto Gurf. Season, though, just not even in range to follow up on the trade. Just really playing Farming Simulator on the Sivir. I mean, I guess he's playing for late game, but that's a Dark Harvest Sivir. You're going lethality. Like, you're not going to have the same power that this Vayne or this Kale or even this Irelia is going to have late game. Nairo walking up, misses the rocket grab to fly with the fast footwork. And Grotus was there too. Looks like they were going to go for a kill, but Grotus, I guess, just has to walk away. They see him on the ward. Maki getting back onto the map, knows where Grotus is and can plan around it accordingly.
Yeah, Nairo just doesn't seem comfortable on the split screen. He has really struggled to land those rocket grabs throughout this game. I think he's only landed maybe 3 that I've seen. So definitely having a little bit of a rough time there as he misses another one.
Yeah, and now that the Outlaws know that Angrotus was last seen bot, you see Orenji actually getting some more deep vision into Angrotus' jungle. They see that the camps are up. Axford walking to see if any shenanigans are going on, but no, it will just be Maki starting the Rift Herald by himself. Oh, we see Nairo
Ooh,
walking
nice
in the mid lane, hits the rocket grab onto Mako, knocks him up, but no one's in range as the Nocturnal goes down. Looks like it's just to dissuade the engage. Nocturne, Maki really just wants to finish up this Rift Herald, but Mako not even burning his flash, just staying safe, gets hit by the hook, yes, but there's no follow-up on the side of Marauders.
Yeah, it was a very good engage. Nairo finally getting that nice combo, but isn't able to finish off the kill in the end. Meanwhile, the Flying Gurf have totally pushed Shishin off this bot side. Had to use his ult there to run away. As Angrotus is going to get spotted, but is transitioning to... No, okay. I thought he was about to try and start the dragon there without lane pride. But is going to just look to maybe catch out Mako here.
Yeah,
Oh, and he's
Mako
caught.
on the tail. And Grotus pops the Hollowed Mist. trying to stay safe. We see River priority on the side of Outlaws, but it looks like they want more. Boomerang Blade comes down, flash forward from Ingrotus looking to burst down Gurf. Rocket Grab will not connect, and Grotus goes in. Flash from Defoe. First kill goes down onto Maki. It is a 3-4, but Defly pops the final hour, looking to see if he can do anything, but that is the level 7 Vayne. Yes, he is getting good damage onto Defoe, but it means nothing as the Rocket Grab goes in. Intervention from Kale, and Renji. TP is down, hits the Vanguard's edge. Defoe goes down to Kale as Renji is just ripping through the Marauders. Flash forward from Mako gets the kill onto station. 2 forward from Renji looking for Ingrotus. Is that going to be enough? Have they gone too far? Triple kill for Mako as Renji and Mako do get out. And that is
and
a clean play.
Axrid got nothing done meanwhile. Mako going to show up, Renji going to get a couple of assists, but his lane opponent gets a little CS, but he's still down and doesn't really even get that much of the tower gone either, and it's just going to be a free drag.
Yeah, the Outlaws playing really well around Renji's TP. Yes, while the play did look good for the Marauders at the beginning, they did get the pick onto Maki. Renji, the level 10 Irelia, absolutely flexing on the side of Outlaws, flexing onto the Marauders, rather. I mean, that's scary. That's 3 kills on the enemy Kale. That is one way to accelerate a late game champion to the point where he will just 1v5.
Yeah, it's that's not what you want to see. It's looking pretty rough here for the Marauders, I believe. I keep getting them confused. Such similar names.
Yeah, and I mean, the Marauders, like, they were supposed to win the early game. They're the ones with the early game champions, or at least more early game focus. As Defoe looks to be caught out by Renji and Mako. Goes down. That's the 4th kill for Mako. Defoe just getting caught. Speaking of getting caught, though, Gurf takes the hook. Will go down to Station's Boomerang Blade, but Defly looks to take the 1v2. Flashes forward. Forces Station's flash tumble forward. Will that be enough? So low. Defly decides against going forward. Looks like he's just going to get some more damage onto Nairo. Gets hooked, though, into tower range. Only takes 1 tower shot, though. As, yeah, Defly unable to answer back. Renji, though, might have walked into Axrid. Goes down, the stun blocked by the Mundo passive. As that's some good news on the side of Marauders. At least, you sort of take what you can get here.
Yeah, Nairo gets fully procced there. Axred getting shut down is very nice, but at the same time, this Kale is so far ahead. Now level 11, going to get upgraded even further.
Oh, Nairo
Vayne
goes
with
down.
the 1v1.
Oh, but Vayne, Defly goes down to Angrotus. Maki here popped the Paranoia, but didn't reactivate it again. Celcio comes out, though. He's looking for the fight. Gets the fear onto Angrotus. Maki gets the kill, popped up by the Lulu ulti. But since Defoe is TPing down, it looks like the Outlaws just want to run. Pop Blossom pop, but Pop Blossom whiffs. Maki looking maybe to trade back onto station, but it's definitely not going to happen. But that is a very scary level 11 Kale. First sets his sights onto station. Will he be able to get the kill? Yes, he will, but that's a TP from Axrid. Maybe they can pick up the shutdown onto Mako. Yep, that is some Nico damage. Defoe almost goes down, but he does get the kill. Flash forward from Axrid looking to pick up Gurf as well. Gurf is level 8. Gurf is squishy. Axrid does not care about this tower. Never mind, he does. He walks away, satisfied, forcing the flash from Gurf.
Yeah, I think Mako may be popping the ult there a little bit early. After seeing the TT, maybe should have waited a second on that one.
Defy goes
in. Back in though.
Watches the rocket grab whiff. Defly just shreds this Mundo, and that is another kill picked up on the side of the Outlaws. That's 5 kills for your Kale, 3 kills for your Vayne. If you're the Outlaws, you are very happy with how the game is going right now.
Yeah, absolutely huge for both of their solo or both of their carries here, really, with the Vayne and the Kale. Super accelerated. It's going to be really hard for them to get back in the game. They really have to get a nice hook over the wall with the Blitzcrank here, I think, really, to get them back in this game. And even at that point, it's going to be really hard, as we just saw Axrid the true damage from Defly just absolutely massive in
Yeah.
those fights.
Oh, Defoe might be caught out. Uses the Nico W to get the movement speed to get out. I mean, speaking of Defoe, he seems to be really the only bright point for this Marauder squad. 4-2-0 on the Nico, but even still, he just lost the turret to that Kale. Station and Nairo might look to answer it on the other side. I mean, plates are down. It looks like Station's committing, but we see Maki on the Nocturne walking down as well. Potentially looking for a play if Station overstays. The Nairo walking in sees Gurf on the sweeper, declines the fight. You see Mako as well is in the area. RNG meanwhile just winning trades, pots of Vanguard's edges. This is gonna be another solo kill for RNG on the Irelia. A top canyon right now. As RNG proving all the haters wrong, definitely popping off this game.
Yeah, that Aurelia definitely feels balanced right now. I've been against a couple myself, and it just feels so strong right now. So we'll have to see how Renji continues to pilot this one, but it is looking kind of dire for the Marauders here. We'll have to wait and see what can happen. Nairo going to get
Oh,
hook onto the
hook.
Kale.
Pop Blossom gets 3 people stunned. Mako's very low. Pops the intervention, but Orenji is here. The Lulu ult on the Mako. He will not die. No casualties yet, but Defoe is on the wrong side of the fight. It seems like Mako is very low. Ult popped by Maki just to get the kill. Did not want to risk losing their kill before this crucial Ocean Dragon fight. Rocket Crab goes wide as Defly is able to tumble out of danger. But it seems everyone that is still alive is around this dragon. Gonna be started by the Outlaws. They definitely have the damage to burst this. Nairo might be walking a little too far forward though. Looking for the hook. Hits Mako. There's no kill ult. Will he go down? He does have flash though. He flashes to safety. Defly on the side. And Grotus looking to pick him up. Dragon goes down, but Defly might have walked a bit too far forward. Goes down while Grotus looking to open up on the rest of the team. Station picks up Gurf with the boomerang blade, and Grotus looking to chase forward. Meanwhile, Axrid has found Maki with the cleavers. The fear will not go through, and Grotus can dash over the wall, but he's not even going to be needed as Axrid looking to finish the kill off. Spell Shield blocks it, gives the gold over to Angrotus. Very wise choice by Axrid.
Yeah, definitely got a lot there on the end for the Marauders, but going to lose drag doesn't mean too much. But still putting them that much closer to an early Ocean Soul. We'll have to see what happens here. And Grotus and Renji just gonna walk by each other and say, "Nah, I don't want that." Meanwhile, mid lane tower is going to be picked up. Tier 1's going down. It looks like Kale will pick up that one on the top side in return.
Like, tell me, like, that fight was... It looked really good for Marauders at the start when they hooked Mako without the Kale ulti. Unfortunately, he did still have flash. He was able to get away. And at that point, I thought, oh, this is a one fight for the Marauders, but I might have to stop. Mako gets rooted up, rocket grabbed again. The Kale ult is popped. The Lulu ult is popped. That is a very, very big Kale. And he is very angry looking to pick up Nairo. He just a sad little robot, walks away, does die. Defoe pops the Pop Blossom, gets the stun onto Orenji. Boomerang Blade comes in. Orenji looking for the tower dive, gets the foe. Will he be able to get Station? No, he declines the fight as Station is very under tower. Mako, oh, flash forward from Station. Is he able to pick it up? No. And then the paranoia from Maki able to get the return kill. Station greeting for the shutdown, does not get it and trades his life away. I mean, it is... At the end of the day, that's just Baron, right? That has to be... It seems there's nothing really the Marauders can do to stop this. There's so much Baron DPS, whether it be the Irelia, the Kale, the Vayne, the Lulu speeding them all up, and of course Nocturne does have his smite. Seems the Marauders are looking, I don't know exactly what for. Baron goes down, but Gurf gets hooked. No, that's not Gurf, that's the Fly that gets hooked. Will the Fly go down? He flashes away, and Grotus flashes forward using the Gwen damage, but it's not enough. All of the Outlaws are low, though. Axford gets the first kill for the Marauders. Mako looking to turn this fight. Almost kills Defoe, but he is low himself. Axford will not be able to pick up Mako. He survives, and that is going to be a one fight, a 2-for-1 in the favor of the Outlaws, as well as picking up the Baron.
Yeah, Mako's it's so hard because the Blitzcrank, even if you get a hook onto Mako, can just ignore it with the Kale ult. If you land it onto a Renji, he's probably just gonna stun 3 members of your team. If you land it onto the Fly, you're probably just gonna see Kale ult him and then Lulu ult him. So they definitely have a lot of tools that kind of just say, "No, I don't think so." We'll have to wait and see. If Marauders can claw their way back in this one, it's definitely going to be very hard. Now down about 4K gold here at 22 minutes. Not an insane or not overcomable amount, but definitely just a rough one at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Angrotus on the Gwen is doing so much damage. That is, he's almost single-handedly turning these fights. As we see Nairo, nope, not looking for the hook onto Gurf. That, as I was saying, like, if you look at the items of the Outlaws, they don't have that much magic resist. Hook does, in fact, go wide. Even so, Maki did have the spell shield. But, if you don't buy any MR, Defoe and Angrotus, the 2 strongest members of the Marauders, will be able to, in fact, turn this game around.
Yeah, and they're gonna look for something cheeky here over the wall. They need a ward though. Nairo otherwise just gonna have to throw out a hope and a prayer. We'll have to wait and see. Defoe is going to be able to get in and get that one, but going to get immediately cleared by Kerf and
Hook
misses
goes
on the blind
wide.
hook.
Their position's revealed. Mako is level 14 on this kill. 2 levels till absolute ascension. Looks like the next fight is going to be around this ocean dragon. I mean, it makes sense if the Outlaws are able to... Oh, sorry. Messed with my mic a little. If the Outlaws are able to get this Ocean Dragon, that will be Soul Point. Rocket Grab again goes wide. Nairo is just not able to find the picks that he needs to. And it looks like the Outlaws are just going to start this up. They do have River priority. Axford's passive is popped. Ignite down onto Orenji, but there's no follow-up. He does get Rocket Grab. Looks like they're willing to burst out Orenji, but he gets kill ulted. Nico on the other side gets the stun, but it's not going to be enough as... Oh, it's very close, actually. Mako has to flash away with the Lulu ult. Defoe misses the Q. It looks like that's going to be enough as on the other side of the fight, it is only Angrotus alive. And Grotus was able to do a lot in that fight, able to pick up Defly, Orenchi, and Maki with the help of the rest of his team, but it's not enough. You kill 2 carries, you still have a giant Kale that you have to deal with.
Yeah, and a Lulu back in her. So it's going to be very hard. Maybe going to look for something under the wall here, but going to be too late.
Yeah.
Mako, absolutely massive right now. But that team fight was just so split that even though Angrotus took down 3 members of the opposing team, just he couldn't get in because of that Kale and the Lulu still on the backside surviving, even with the engage from Defoe.
Yeah, it seemed super disjointed. It seemed like all of the Marauders were on the bot side of this river, and we see Defoe coming in with the Pop Blossom on the top side. Maybe they were looking to do some sort of pincer maneuver, but they weren't able to fully, I guess, clasp down onto the Outlaws. They were able to stand their ground and fight from both angles. Well, we see Maki might be caught out. Rocket Grab does hit, but is there going to be any follow-up CC? No Nico E, as the Lulu is able to escort Maki on the Nocturne out.
Yeah, and this is going to just turn into some posturing and some pushing of waves here. Sivir is going to be able to clear waves pretty quickly, but at the same time, the ability of the Outlaws to push is kind of just insane at this point. Going to be very, very hard.
Renji on the wrong side of this. Blade Surge is used to dash to a few minions. Goes in looking for the fight first onto Angrotus. Dodges the first Gwen ult, but that is a 3v1 RNG. You may be Irelia, but you cannot win that. Defly condemns the Nico away, so the ult misses, and Defly autos the clone, I guess. doesn't really know that's the real Defoe, but Defoe still goes down. Defy taking his time to get the control ward. And on the bot side, Mako is level 16 on the Kale, picking up the increased gold from the inner side turret. So that is scary. That is very scary. Nairo with the overdrive, maybe looking for something, but just gets absolutely chunked by Defly's Vayne.
Yeah, and that's the point I was getting at. Yeah, you get that pick top side, but Mako and the Fly can push these other lanes in and take towers so quickly as well. So it's going to be very hard here. Axrid looking for a hook or for a bone saw over the wall, but really, what do you do at this point?
Oh, what you do is miss the rocket grab. Apparently, Nairo goes down, just really not able to put the work on this Blitzcrank pick. We see Angrotus and Maki in a 1v1 that should be Angrotus favored. Looks like Maki fears Angrotus and runs away. But he's back with friends. Friends being Orenji. We see, oh, Gwen E over the wall, but Orenji does hit the stun, using the marks to Blade Surge over. And Angrotus is actually picked out right before this Baron. What are the Marauders going to be able to do? Defoe gets the root onto Mako, but misses the Q. There's just not enough damage if you miss all your abilities. But Defy gets hit up by this Lethality Sivir. Kale ult to safety, but that is a very important cooldown burned.
Yeah, Defly overstepped a little bit there. They're definitely feeling pretty confident, but it's going to be really hard. Even with all of that down, they're just going to push the Marauders off this objective. Vayne's going to recall and come back with more items, and they're probably just going to absolutely melt this Baron here.
Yeah, Defy consistently really overstepping his bounds. If you consider the, I guess, tri-carry of the Outlaws, the Irelia, the Kale, and the Vayne, it definitely has been this Vayne who has been sort of the weak point getting caught out in these fights. So Defy, if he doesn't tighten up his play, could present a window for the Marauders to potentially come back in a fight.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough one. And at this point, Outlaws can kind of just force Marauders to trade objectives here. You take Baron, easy push in. You take Ocean Soul, easy push in. Durf gonna try and take the Baron there by himself, but just gets pushed off, and it looks like they're just gonna end up having to give this Baron over.
Yeah, and Grotus can't really do much. We see assist pings coming down. Looks like they want something, but the Baron's already down. Hallowed Mist pops super early. Looks like a TP is coming in. Pop Blossom only hits Orenji, and the Kale ult goes down. Paranoia comes in. It looks like the carries of Outlaws are just opening up on this fight. We see the Kale, we see the Irelia Axrid, the lone survivor, going to recall in Tribush. I mean, the Outlaws have a lot of options for what they can do now. They can use this Baron buff that they just got to push. They can take the free Ocean Soul. They could do both. It's really up to what they want to do. They look like they want to push in mid, potentially threaten the inhibitor, even the Nexus towers, the Fly tanking tower, but he doesn't care because the tower itself will go down. Axrid, the lone defender, what can he do against this siege?
They might be able to end here. They take objectives very quickly. It's going to be very hard, but I imagine you just take the inhibitor back off. Take your free Ocean Soul and just come back with your Baron mains and push again. Maybe get your waves synced a little bit. Orenji here going to get a red buff or hand it over to Mako, and then, like I said, kind of just a free Ocean Soul at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Nairo maybe looking to catch out Mako here. That is a level 17 Kale. I mean, I guess with Angrotus, that's probably could be enough to take him down, but I think it would be close, especially as his team has just picked up the Ocean Soul.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if you don't have a tank when you have Ocean Soul, really. Like, Gurf, his shields are going to be absolutely massive. And on top of that, if you manage to survive and engage, you walk off and you get free healing and just walk back at him. So only make it even harder for the Marauders to do anything, really.
Yeah, and if we look in the inventory of the Outlaws, we see Orenji and Mako have both picked up their wits ends, but we see the paranoia going down onto Nairo. Nairo and Angrotis might be caught. Vanguard's edge down onto 2. RNG will just cut them down, and Grotus does pop the GA of Maki, but will go down himself, and that is essentially a 2 for nothing.
Yeah, that one's gonna be real rough. Mako can kind of just push this tower. Meanwhile, the Fly going to solo push here in the mid lane.
Yeah, Defy a little cut out, able to not kill Defoe. Defoe goes into Zanya's, and Defy giving up another kill to Zacian. I mean, I don't think it matters though. Like the rest of his team is just picking up the slack for Defy's mistakes. As we see Mako looking to just kill Station. Station survived barely with the spell shield. Axford too, not faring too well. The rest of his team. Oh, Hook goes down onto a Renji. Will not prove fatal though. Mako meanwhile on the top lane, just getting this inhib for free. Axford can't do anything. Looks like it's going to be triple inhib. Will the Outlaws try and force the end here? Mako going in onto Angrotis. Angrotis pops the ultimate rocket grab, goes wide. Angrotis stunned, Angrotis down. It is a 4v5. Maki goes in onto Defoe. RNG goes in as well, but they're not willing to fully commit under these Nexus towers. Instead, just relying on Mako to get the kills with the range auto attacks. Pulled into Fountain. Nairo getting a good kill onto RNG, but it looks like the game is over. No one can touch this Kale. 32-17. Defoe flashes in, but it will be too little too late. Mako does not kill Nairo as the Nexus explodes.
Yeah, absolutely putting on a clinic here with that 3 carry comp. And on top of that, especially Nairo looked so like he looked like he didn't play that champ that much. Um, it's gonna be. Hope to see them on something different in the next game because he looked so uncomfortable on that champ, not able to really get anything done. Definitely need to see a change in drafting here, but at the same time, very good job um, by the Outlaws here, able to get their late game champs accelerated very quickly, very fast. Congrats to them on game one. We're going to throw it to a little bit of a break, maybe some analysis, and then we will hit you all back with game two here shortly.
Welcome back, everybody, after game one of Grand Finals, Marauders versus Outlaws, with the Outlaws taking a convincing win off the back of just late game carries. What do you have to say about that game, Wolven?
I have to say, it was a slaughter fest for Mako. But other than that, the Marauders played really well. I understand their comp. I understand what they were trying to go for. I just don't think like Angrotis didn't use what he needed to do, and that was gank either KO or gank bot. He needed to get Nico ahead, he needed to get bot ahead, and he didn't really gank as much. He did invade a lot, which was good and all, but the issue was it gave the opportunity for Mako and for Defy to just get ahead and pop off. As you see, Defy didn't really do as much, damage with the Vayne, but you don't really need to do as much damage with Vayne when you have a 12-1, KO on the team.
Definitely. Yeah, no, very good on the Outlaws to take a fairly weak early game, especially coming off of the level 1 there, and just turn it around. Where do you think it flipped around for them?
I think it flipped around. I think it was a dragon fight that happened. I think it was first dragon fight where it looked like it was going towards the side of the Marauders, and then it just turned around and just Mako just I think pick up like a triple kill that time, and then on top of that you had a Renji able to just kept on solo killing the Mundo top. So with the Renji, popping off from the top lane is what turned around the team fights really well for Mako to get ahead. So I guess I have to say it's when the very first solo kill on Mundo happened is when the game started turning around.
Yeah, I would say much of the same, and if you have no further comments, we'll send it off to a break real quick while we throw out the poll for your player of the game.
The only thing I have to say is that good attempt on the giraffe. The only thing I would say is that you can't pick something like Nico against Mako. You need something that does a little bit of a more scaling than damage like against Mako. Because Mako is going to pick these scaling type champions and he will run wild with them.
Definitely. So with that, the poll is out there. So take your votes for the player of the game, Game 1, and we'll see you guys after a quick break. And we are back with your player of the game, Mako. I'll get a pronunciation on that sooner or later. Going 12-1-8 on Kale that game. Just snowballing off the back of a triple kill at a early dragon fight, and then just doing as Kale does, getting to level 16 and running over the game. Very well played to him. And I do believe we are ready for the next draft, so we'll go ahead and cut right into that with no delay for you folks.
All right,
Oh,
gamers, welcome to draft. We seems the graphic is. Yeah, we will fix those graphics in a minute, but it is in fact the Outlaws that are up 1-0. It seems the Marauders need to turn something around to, sort of reverse their fate, because that looked like a bit of a domination by the Outlaws.
yeah, and we're seeing all the same bands right now, which seems kind of strange to me. I don't know why Marauders wouldn't try to maybe change up their bands a little bit, maybe get rid of that Aurelia that was so dominant. Last game. They are going to ban out the Lulu. I don't know. Seemed like the Lulu didn't do too much besides press that game, but going to see that one disappear and another 3 jungle bans coming in from the Outlaws.
I mean, I guess the Marauders' bet is that you can't ban out all 3 carries. Like, you can't ban out the Irelia, the Vayne, and the Kale. So they wanted to ban out the champions that facilitated that, and the Galio first pick for the Marauders.
Okay, going to see if they can flex that one around. Durf going to get its Morgana, though, it looks like. Definitely a fun pick to see here. Durf, of course, from what I've heard, plays that champion quite a bit. So we'll see how that one does go. And they get the Nocturne again for free.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Gurf walking in the Morgana says that he respects the possibility of that being a Galio's support. I mean, Nairo does enjoy those tanky engaged champions. So a Morgana would be a good way with the Black Shield to prevent Defy from getting caught out.
Yeah, absolutely. As they hover a Zillion here. Okay, that's good. That would definitely be a surprise pick here. But we'll have to wait and see whether or not that one does come through. But it is instead going to be that Ziggs. Okay, so we know Galio is almost definitely going bot. Unless they go Ziggs ADC, I think that's unlikely.
Do you think
But we'll
Sation
have
has it in him? I think Sation. I think
I,
Sation would whip it out.
I think it would be a fun pick to see. Um,
I don't
but
know.
it is going to be a Trundle uh, gonna
In all
cosplay the taxman himself.
in all seriousness, that Ziggs is most likely going to Defoe. It was banned out against him last time by the Outlaws. Marauders want to secure it early, but in banning the Lulu, the Marauders did leave up Defly's Twitch. And I guess generally when playing against Defly, leaving up his Twitch is what would be considered as a bad idea. Looks like the Marauders, they'd rather face the Twitch than the Lulu, but seems like Defly is ready to make them pay for that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a little bit of an interesting one as some of our players are getting their hands on maybe some of their preferred champs that came out, and that Aurelia is going to come out as a ban, which is nice to see. Gwen going to be banned out as well, and I think that's a very smart decision. A couple maybe strong picks still. Set is going to come through as a ban. But Viego is still up and available if someone wants to pick that, but we'll have to see what Outlaws want to do.
Please, someone pick Viego. That champion is, in fact, very strong. I mean, I guess Viego right now, after the lane nerfs, would be strong as a jungler. So The Outlaws probably want to send that Nocturne jungle, so they're probably not incentivized to pick that Viego. We see an Ornn hover, possibly for Arenchi. He did so good on Irelia that they need to check his ego with some Ornn duty or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to put him on that one. Does just offer them the tank they were missing. I think that's a very strong blind here. I do want to point out that teams are going to be on the same sides here. So not prioritizing sides on this one. So we'll have to wait and see whether or not that affects anything here. But Marauder is going to get their last 2 picks. Raven? Okay, that's very
Draven
aggressive.
for Station. Oh, that is Station's answer to Defly's Twitch. Beat him in lane and beat him hard. That Draven really flying under the radar. I personally believe that he is at least an A tier ADC in the right hands. Now, if Station's hands are the right hands, that remains to be seen. Definitely needs to prove himself in lane as we wait for the Marauders' last lock-in to round out their comp.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what Axford wants to go with. And it's a Shaco?
That is a
Oh, is this
Shaco for
Trundle top?
Angrotis. That is a Trundle top.
Oh, I like it. I like it. That's
Angrotis did
spicy.
hover Shaco in my solo queue game. He was warming up for this. I mean, he didn't play it, so I don't know how
there's
warmed
the
up he is.
Viego.
That's the Viego. Oh my God, they're putting the Viego mid. Mako has heard my cries for a Viego pick, and he has answered. Viego into Ziggs does have some good kill pressure. Viego, a very, very scary champion. However, the nerfs to his sustain does mean that if Defoe on this Ziggs is able to poke out Mako, Mako will not have the most fun time.
Yeah, honestly, to me at least, that sounds kind of painful to play the Viego mid just because you're lacking in wigs or so much. And we we started the queue and someone's having some issues. I think we
We are heading, in fact, to another custom lobby, so we are having some technical difficulties, but that is okay. It would not be League of Legends if everything worked.
Yeah, unfortunately, whoever made the lobby there accidentally picked blind pick. I've never done that before. Absolutely never. So we'll be just an extra second here loading into the game, but definitely this is a very interesting game here. I honestly I like the Marauders comp. That's so spicy. Now,
I mean,
personally, I hate playing against Draven and Shaco. I want them like permanently banned out of the game. But definitely is spicy.
it's spicy, I will grant you that, but is it good? I'm gonna say no. I don't.
There's some questionable synergy, I think, with those champions.
Like, I see bits and pieces of it. Like, you have the Galio. If Nocturne ults anyone, that's a Galio ult, you know, really to help dissuade the engage. You have the Trundle into the Ornn top. You know, that is considered a winning matchup. Trundle can use the Subjugate on the Ornn to steal the resistance late game. You have Draven that, like, Draven Galio should be Twitch Morgana, right? But I don't know, it doesn't feel like it goes well together. Meanwhile, the Outlaws have a very simple game plan. It's go to late game, use those ornaments, and have Defy carry on Twitch. I mean, they are, I guess, a little low on the magic damage side, but they do have Ornn. They do have, I guess, Morgana. Like, I don't think it's doomed in terms of, like, picking a mostly AD comp. I don't know.
Yeah, Morgana's going to output I'd say a pretty solid amount of AP damage. But we'll just have to wait and see how that one does go. As we're gonna have to move some things around a little bit. But we should be jumping into this one very quickly. I do like the Trundle as a flex here, though. That is the biggest thing for me that I am excited about. I have not seen a lot of Trundle top, but I'd imagine the Into the Ornn it probably should be pretty strong. So I'm definitely excited to see how Axerid handles that one. But like you said, there really isn't too much AP damage coming out from the Outlaws. They might go AP Twitch. It's unlikely.
I mean,
Um,
I think they would go AP Twitch, but like Twitch isn't like yes, you can build AP, but that doesn't mean he exactly does magic damage. The only magic damage that Twitch actually has in his kit is part of his E. Twitch's E is actually split into a physical damage component and a magic damage component. That magic damage being only 33.3% of his total AP. So I guess if you consider that with the Morgana and with the Ornn, it's probably enough, and you know, it should be fine. I don't like. I still think that the Outlaws have the safer and more consistent draft.
yeah, absolutely. That's the way I would describe it. I think it's a lot more safe. Yes, you are picking uh, some pretty aggressive champions, especially with the Viego and the Nocturne. But at the same time, uh, the stuff makes sense together. I think a lot more than the Marauders comp does. Like, Trundle and Shaco are going to go in. Galio's going to go in. Draven can backline. I guess Ziggs is gonna try to backline too. So they have a decent amount of front to back. But against against a Viego and a Nocturne that can kind of just say, "Nah, I think I'm gonna go in anyways." It's gonna be a little bit of a rough one, I think, with the front to back.
Yeah, I mean, one thing to consider is that the Outlaws has shifted from a 3 carry comp to a 2 carry comp, but like it's really more like a one and a half. I don't know. Viego obviously can carry fights. He is Viego. He has a lot of resets, but in terms of like raw damage, he sort of relies on his team to help secure those resets. So I feel like a lot of the onus to deal that initial damage is going to be on DeFly's Twitch. And DeFly is known for his Twitch. Like, it's very good, but you do have to remember that last game, his positioning did leave a little to be desired. So maybe the Marauders are banking on that in order to, get the victory, but it remains to be seen. This still is anyone's game, anyone's series. We have Ingrotus on Shaco. Anything can happen.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. Galio is going to be offering a decent amount of CC himself, but really they don't have too much hard CC. Maybe can get a little bit of the Satchel Charge or the Trundle Pillar, but really don't offer too much CC on the side of Marauders, so that might make it even more rough, I think, with that front to back. And these champions that do want to engage onto you. So we'll have to wait and see. I definitely think top lane, we'll see which oven wins out. Gonna be an interesting one. I don't know who wins the jungle matchup in the 1v1, honestly. I think Ziggs definitely will have push early. We'll see what Maker can do on the Viego. And bot lane, Draven and Galio going to be very strong early, but I honestly think that like Morgana is just going to scale, just drop just drop pools on their face from range and get money with the support item, and Twitch can farm under tower. So we'll have to wait and see what does happen. But really, the only matchup that I think looks very aggro early for both sides is in the jungle. So we'll have to wait and see how that one does turn out here.
Yeah. I got a message from Angroda saying, "Told you we trolling because he picked Trundle." Very interesting. Thank you for your comments, and Grotus. Going to hope that you don't actually troll in game, because I signed up for some great League of Legends, and I want to see what these Marauders players can do. Ideally, it would have been with a more stable draft, but if anyone can pull a win out with this draft, it is definitely Angrotus, the Monkey King.
Absolutely, we'll have to wait and see. It definitely seems like there's a lot of support for Marauders draft this time around. So we'll have to wait and see. But going to be an interesting one nonetheless. We'll really have to wait and see. I think early game and laning phase is going to be a little definitely
I mean,
for the Outlaws.
I think the Marauders, they have strong lanes. I mean, Trundle into Ornn isn't really like a counter matchup until you get to level 6. But I mean, if Station can't win on Draven, that bodes very poorly for the rest of the game. That should be a winning lane for the Draven Galio. It should at least be push for the Ziggs. That's more of a skill matchup. Viego does have tools to sort of deal with these ranged champions. But we'll have to see.
Yep, for now we're going to throw it to a little bit of a break, and we will catch you all on the Rift.
You
Welcome to Summoner's Rift, ladies and gentlemen. We are in Game 2 of the Marauders versus Outlaws. Looks like Marauders again going for a topside invade. They did not get enough last time. They want to run it back. They might meet Orenji in the top tri-bush though.
He's gonna see him real early.
Oh, Orenji went into the river bush. Oh, they're behind him, but they don't know. Oh, they don't know. Oh, Orenji, the secret agent, spots out the invade.
I don't know how none of them saw him there. That is wild. Renji out here already with the top diff. So it looks like Maki won't get triple buffed again. So
Well,
that's definitely nice.
yeah, I mean, once secret agent Orenji got the information, the rest of the outlaws sprung into action, getting priority onto the red buff. They'll see Angrotis start the red buff, and they will be going for the red buff of their own, but it looks like there might be an altercation. Oh,
Galio's here by
Maki,
himself though.
Galio's alone. I think he drops the ward. He knows. He knows that the team is there, but it currently 3v1. Station is just not even going. Maki is able to secure the red buff. Taunt coming in from Nairo, but it hits nobody. Defly and Gurf with the presence of mind to avoid that. Station gets an axe onto Gurf, but it looks like nothing really of consequence happens. It looks like it's just going to be a split map. You see Maki and Angrotis getting the raptors of the respective enemy jungles. And Angrotis might look for either top gank or going for the Krugs, while Maki is just going for his own blue buff.
Yeah, I mean, Angrotis can look for a early gank here on the top side, especially with sort of winning, and can just hold that wave there. So it looks like Angrotis might be able to just take the Krugs and gank.
Yeah, I mean, Axrid does have a bit of a push going in the top side, winning those early trades against Orenji. And seems in the bot lane too, Defy and Gurf have built up a bit of a wave. Station and Nairo. Station, I guess, must have missed XP somewhere. He's only level 1, now gets that level 2, but not the kind of start you want to see for your Draven.
Yeah, absolutely not. You want this Draven to get ahead early, get that
Oh, we
damage
see a
down,
gank
and
coming top.
Grota's going to be here.
And Grotus forces the flash from Orenji. Fear comes down. Ignite comes down. Chomp is that first blood to Angrotis against Secret Agent Orenji. However, on the other side of the map, Station gets dark binded. Station gets exhausted. Ignite goes down onto the fly, but it looks like both AD carries getting really low. The Contaminate is not enough to finish
Ooh,
Station, but a
Nairo.
dark binding. Nairo goes down. Trade kill answered. That is not what you want to see for the bot lane of Marauders.
Yeah, Nairo just stepped way too far forward. He could have just disengaged there, but instead stepped back forward and caught a dark binding to the face.
Yeah, Gurf on this Morgana, you hyped him up early on, but it seems like he is making good on your word, hitting 2 crucial dark bindings that is just turning what should be a losing lane for the Outlaws into a kill. Orenji and Axrid fighting. Oh, but Maki is here. Axrid level 4, but that's not enough against 2 players. Flash forward, forces the flash from Axrid. Looks like he's going to get out. It is a trade of flashes. Maybe Maki pulled the trigger a little too early, but no, Axrid still has the push against Orenji. That won't really save Orenji from the pain that this Trundle top is causing him.
Yeah, but Axford does need to get this shoved in just a little bit so he can't get ganked again. Going to have to just run away there for a second. But Angrotis up 8 CS and a kill right now is looking very strong on the Shaker. Going to look for an invade. But is going to get spotted on that Raptor camp. Mako, meanwhile, it's so hard to do anything.
And Grotus over the wall might look for something. Nairo! Wait, he's taking tower. He misses the E. He flashes away, gets executed, but Angrotis! What? What am I watching? It seems Mako gets the possession, uses the seat to get closer to Defoe. He wants more, pops the box, but it goes down to the turret. Well, that is going to be a 1-for-0 in the 1v3 for Mako.
Yeah, Nairo yet again just executes there really hard. I don't think that dive was a good idea to begin with. Maybe just over forcing a little bit on the side.
Yeah, and that gives free control of the bot river to the side of Outlaws. Maki able to pick up the Scuttle Crab for himself. I mean, yes, Nairo did tank tower a little too early. We see the Outlaws are getting Dragon, but the Mega Inferno Bomb, that's going to be enough. Defoe gets the kill onto Maki, and Grotus goes
Man.
over the wall, steals the Cloud Drake.
The
And it looks
smite
like they're looking
steal.
to pick up the Fly. Black Shield is going to be enough. Looks like the Fly walks away. If they did any more magic damage, that would have popped and the Fly would have been taunted up.
Yeah,
Damn.
very good black shield from Gurf there. And
And Grotus over the wall. Defy Blast Cones jumps over him. Looks like there's not going to be a kill. The Marauders might be looking for Gurf, might be looking for Defy. Maybe they're going to go for this dive in the bottom lane. You see Sation tanks aggro first. Taunt onto Defy, but there's not enough damage. Nairo getting low, forces the TP out from Mako, and it looks like the dive is going to be dissuaded. And Grotus walks up, looks for a trade onto Mako, but that is a level 6 Viego. You do not want to mess with him.
Yeah, and Grotus just being as annoying as he can. Gurf gonna try and clear out some vision here, but he's going to get spotted. Meanwhile, and Grotus should probably just take the Gromp, I'd imagine. But yet again, Marauders with a very good job in this early vision on that bot side.
Yeah, we see Defy just... I mean, it was good that he was able to get out on the Twitch. Did go the AP build, so he does have that early burst, and he is really winning against this Draven lane, but Ingrotus looking to turn that around. They see him. Oh, box into the TP from Defoe. Defy flashes out, but it's not going to be enough. Defoe not even needed. Gurf is going to escape by the skin of his teeth, but another heads-up play by Marauders.
Yeah, Chico.
Oh, Mega Inferno Bomb again from Defoe on the Ziggs. Absolutely dominating the map with his Mega Inferno Bombs.
Yeah, absolutely dunked on Gurf there. Said, "Nah, you're not getting away." I was about to comment on how it must have been down because he didn't go for it. Instead, picked it up in the end there. I think Gurf might have been able to get out of that one.
And Grotus picks up the blue buff, is able to queue over the wall, but Nairo gets taunt on 2. Station and Defoe looking to put the DPS. Mako dies before the Heartbreaker comes out. Maki low on the Nocturne. Are they going to walk forward? Station certainly is. Drops the ward down. Not going to look for any more. That's another kill picked up on the side of Marauders.
Yeah, and Angrode is taking over this game thus far. 3-1-0. Definitely feeling very strong on that, as well as Defoe on the Ziggs, the Mega Inferno Bomb. I was about to comment, I think Gurf might have been able to walk out of that one, but might have been in the store or something. So going to be a little bit rough here to fly, going to try and clear out some vision, but just not enough there. And still pretty strong warding coming in from their warriors. Definitely what you like to see. Orenji is very good at getting those deep wards onto the opponent's jungle. So might be able to spot out Angrotus sometime here soon, but we'll have to wait and see. I'd imagine, though, we're going to go into a little bit of a lull state until someone can look for a gank or maybe a contest onto this first Rift Herald.
Yeah, and I'd like to point out that is a lost chapter in Angrotus's inventory. This is an AP box Shaco looking to just get, instead of going for the assassination onto target like Defy, he's just looking to do as much damage as possible. I guess relying on Axrid and Sation for that physical damage. Gurf hits the binding. Nairo looks to go in, goes in with a Justice Punch, does not hit the taunt onto anybody, but they see Defy. Target acquired. Stand aside, goes in, Mega Inferno Bomb onto 2, and that is a kill for Sation.
Yeah, and
Oh,
that's
but we see a
just a
fight in
good
the top
combo.
lane. Flash, but Orenji still manages to get the Ornn ultimate, but the subjugate is going on, but it's not enough. Orenji with the brittle pops Axrid in the 1v1.
Yeah, Axford really just, if he had saved his flash until it got close and make Orenji predict, he might have had a little bit of a better time, but Orenji just waits a second, waits till he flashes, and then finishes him off with a couple of brittle procs.
I mean,
Meanwhile, though,
again,
Defoe,
Defoe looking to trade against Mako. I mean, if you look at the CS numbers, Orenji is absolutely destroying Axid for the second game in a row, this time on Ornn of all champions. Winning that 1v1 partially due to the level lead that he was able to accrue with superior wave management.
yeah. Meanwhile, it is going to be a trade of neutral objectives. I definitely think you prefer the first Rift Herald if you are able to get some plates off of it. But are going to start some pretty good early soul stacking. The second drag at 11 minutes is very nice, and we are going to see a mountain soul here. So definitely a little bit of an interesting one. I don't think it affects any of the champs too much, other than causing a little bit of some pain. Orenji is going to have more things to run his face into, get some knockups off of, but we'll have to wait and see if that does come into play.
Yeah, I mean, see, the thing is with trading Rift Herald for Dragon there, that is the second dragon for Marauders. They already have done their work. They already have, got 2 dragons. The pressure is on the Outlaws in that regard. Problem is with Rift Herald, if you can't get a good Rift Herald in the next 2 minutes, the gold value of that goes way down. Post plate's Rift Herald is definitely not worth a dragon, so it's up to Maki to coordinate with the rest of his team to make something happen.
And the issue is he doesn't really have push in any of his waves. So he doesn't have anywhere really good to lay that down. So he might, if he does want the money off that, he might just have to drop it and hope for the best. Meanwhile, Orenji's still trading
Orenji
so well.
forces the ult out of Trundle, but Orenji just walks away. The secret agent does not want to get his hands dirty just yet. Might look for more as 2 pieces of terrain come up from these champions. Terraforming Summoner's Rift, but Orenji gets the push. We see Angrotis, though, wants to kill Orenji again.
Yeah, but Maki going to hover and just make sure that doesn't happen. Is going for an on-hit version this time. It does look like Mako going for a little bit of a trade, but not going to get too much done.
Oh, Orenji goes in, but Angrotis is behind him. Ease away. Maki is almost in range. Pops the call. The Forge God. Is he going to hit the knockup? Goes on to Angrotis, but Angrotis pops the Hallucinate. Ult comes in, but that's onto the clone. You have feared Orenji, but it looks like Orenji walks out. Maiko is here as well. Angrotis will go down, and that is 2 kills on the side of Outlaws, answered for pretty much nothing.
Yeah, that was a good TP from Mako. They weren't quite able to burst Renji quick enough. And that means that it is going to be 2 kills for them, and I believe a shutdown for whoever got Shaco there. And the Rift Herald is going to get something done here. They're going to get at least 4 plates, if not this entire time.
Yeah, we saw a Mega Inferno Bomb by Defoe, maybe looking to snipe out the low health Orenji. Unfortunately for him, Orenji was already back in base. The secret agent has completed his mission, getting those 2 kills and the Rift Herald down. And suddenly the gold swing is back even. Whereas the Marauders had taken the early lead, the Outlaws have kept their cool. Looks like Nairo bound under turret. Will that just be a kill? No, but it forces Sation's heal. Summoner Spell for a Dark Binding, definitely a trade in the favor of the Outlaws.
Yeah, and that was good awareness by Gurf there. The Demolish, or not the Demolish, Galio's passive, creating that AoE effect, triggers onto Gurf and landing that binding as a follow-up, ends up forcing that summoner out. So very well done. Good awareness by Gurf.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I think these advantages have been sort of evened out. I mean, Defly and Gurf originally getting the advantage in the bot lane with that kill onto Nairo, sort of evened out by the bot gank, but I don't have more time as Angrotus wants blood, Angrotus wants Maki, Stridebreaker slow, Mega Inferno Bomb isn't going to be enough damage with the wicked death of Draven. Angrotus finishes up, but Defly opens up with the spray and play. Angrotus sends his clone in, gets the fear onto Defly, Galio ult as well, escorts Angrotus out, and it looks like the Marauders will win this blue buff.
And maybe even going to be able to get that blue buff. No, going to back off. If they were able to get that blue buff, that would be nice.
Oh,
However,
Nairo going in, but he's caught up. Will he go down? Gets the taunt. Satchel charge brings Mako into station. That might have been a bit of a mistake. Gurf puts the exhaust onto Angrotus. Meanwhile, we see Station gets caught out and Grotus gets caught out. That's 2 more kills on the side of Outlaws.
yeah, and just overextending again there, and a good punish from the side of Outlaws.
Like,
Renji
Station, why
going
are you
to
there? It's like he's just not on the right side of that wall. And that is a free dragon to stop the dragon stacking of the Marauders. What are your thoughts on that pretty big throw on the side of Marauders?
Yeah, it's definitely just unfortunate. I think Renji again doing just so much for his team, able to get down there. Shishin might have been able to pick up a kill or two, but the ult from Renji with a follow-up combo, I mean, Shishin didn't really get to do anything there. So going to be a little bit rough. I definitely, right now, I'm looking for Defoe to get more done on the Ziggs. With a champ that is this strong at taking towers, of course, he can blow them up with the satchel once they're below 25%. He still hasn't been able to get this mid tower. He's had priority and still struggling a lot. Mako going in, though.
Paranoia popped onto Defoe's Ziggs. Heartbreaker down too. Mega Inferno Bomb does a lot of damage, flashes away, but the kill does go to Maki. Maki goes down to the mines eventually. It is a 1-for-1 trade, but does force out Defoe's flash. Oh, we see Angrotus though. He is spotted out by the Outlaws, and Grotus looking to go around. We see Orenji and Axtrid in a bit of a trade. Axtrid, though, getting the better. This is where the Trundle into Ornn matchup plays. Axtrid just beating Orenji to death. The poor secret agent will lose his life eventually. Station gets the bot turret and kills the fly as well. And suddenly the Marauders, on both sides of the map, taking advantages for free.
Yeah, definitely looking very nice there. Trundle finally getting to the point where he can trade against Orenji here. Maybe going to be able to start taking towers as well. But we'll have to wait and see what does end up happening here. I do want to point out in that earlier kill onto Defoe, Maki was able to get shut down gold as well. So that is going to help him out a little bit. Of course, you want to get the shutdown and get out alive. But still going to be kind of nice.
You know what I want to
tier
point
one's
out?
down.
If you look in the inventories of Marauders, that is in fact a double Leandries from both the Shaco and the Ziggs. That is nowhere near optimal, and that is just a pretty simple mistake. That you're just losing out on DPS because you have 2 Leandries users. And Grotus going in for Maki, pops the smite. There's the Hex Mines. Maki is slowed for a bit, pops the spell shield, force the flash, dark binding onto Angrotus. Stops the play from progressing any further. Station, though.
Ziggs now also going to be able to get some good damage down with those bombs over the wall. We'll have to wait and see what does end up happening here as everyone's grouped. Orenji's got a nice flanking position, though.
Secret Agent Orenji in the backline might look to pull something off here. Maki has a Paranoia. Dark Binding onto Station. That's the call of the Forge God. It's going to be a knock-up onto 2. Maki goes in, hits the Stride Breaker, and Mako forces the first kill. Defoe is able to trade, but that is the kill on both of the squishies. Nairo going to be a 3rd kill picked up as Orenji tanks it up for Mako. That is a 3-for-1. Maki, the unfortunate casualty, but if you are the Outlaws, you are not too sad about that one.
Yeah, that was just a very good flank from Orenji. Call the Forge God lands on the 3, and afterwards, not too much you can do about that one. Are going to get a little bit of a trade there, but that is going to be another tier 1 for the side of Outlaws. They're still down a very minimal amount. It's almost dead even here, but is going to be a kind of interesting one, especially as the fly gets more and more. Also, Mako now 4-1-2 on the Viego is going to be outputting a lot of damage, actually going for the Divine Sunderer here.
I mean, I guess it makes sense that Trundle is going to be a little tanky as well as Nairo if he... Oh, no. Nairo has an X-Tech alternator. What? Marauders actively losing to the shopkeeper this game. Do not know what else to say, but maybe just nerf Boris or something. I do not know what is going on in their heads here. As we see Gurf looking to get vision for this dragon, they still want to deny the soul point, but it seems the Marauders are here first. It's up to the Outlaws to play retake.
Yeah, they need to look for the foe to get a lot of damage early with these bombs over the wall. Also going to be getting some damage there from the box. Renji taking a lot of damage, but they can kind of just go in.
Yeah, it seems Arenji pops a call. The Forge God onto Ziggs. It seems Defoe will be the first casualty, and Grotus is on the back, sort of harassing Defly and Gurf, but it's not like a kill's going down, and Grotus sort of just doing a bit of trolling. We see the Galio ult onto the clone. Nairo goes in. Nairo wants a fight. Nairo taunts nobody, and Nairo will go down. He flashes away, takes a bunch of damage, goes down to the Heartbreaker. Seems Mako might run into Angrotus. Looks like he's just going to recall, gets feared by the box, but like, that's a dragon. If we look at the top side, though, we see Trundle going for the inhibitor. Ord can't stop that. That is a mad Trundle. Does he have a hull breaker or something? No, that is no hull breaker. That is just pure raw split push power.
Yeah, Trundle doing a lot of work to the towers there. Definitely what you like to see coming out from Axrid there. But Mako is just so big now. On top of that, Defly decided to go for the Dark Seal as well. Already has 4 stacks on it. Mako getting caught out though.
All right.
He's gonna,
My headphones died a little, but I should be back. We see, oh, Deceive into the Dark Binding. Oh, Defoe! That is way too forward. He gets picked up by the Paranoia, and that is another death for Defoe. Maki, though, a little in danger, goes down to Axford on the TP. Station did a weird flash, but the Fly gets taunted up. Station with the Draven ult. Is that going to be enough? The Outlaws are so low. Nairo gets the kill on Defly, but it's answered back with Gurf picking up the kill onto Axford. Station is very low. Mako gets the kill, and Grotus might have walked too far forward, although the boxes will cover his escape, although he's escaping into enemy territory. Nairo going in onto Mako, but that is a level 10 Galio. Nairo, you are inting! What are you doing? There's another kill picked up. Arenji wants
no.
Grotus. All right,
Oh no.
Arenji gives another kill, and Mako and Gurf wisely just leave Angrotus to his own ways, but it looks like Mako healing off the red buff, wants to take this fight. Red Herald goes down, but that's not going to stop Mako. Sweeper comes down. He knows exactly where Angrotus is, kills the box, W's in, E's forward for the movement speed, Heartbreaker, and that is a finish. Godlike for Mako on this Viego.
Yeah, Mako absolutely taking over this game, and it's even though every single fight seems to be going the way of the Outlaws, just having that inhibitor on the top side is doing so much work for them.
Yeah, but I mean, these fights are getting very scrappy. Players on both sides getting caught out time after time again. And the problem is, if it keeps going like this, if it keeps being these even scrappy fights where no one really wins out, I feel like these Ornn items are coming through. Arenji level 13. I think one more level until he can upgrade a mythic for his teammate. I assume that'll be Mako's Divine Sunderer being transformed into the Deicide, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be even harder the further the game goes. Mako, of course, if if he gets resets, it's so hard to win any team fight. So we'll have to wait and see how this one does go. Axrid is going to try and split the other side of the map.
Yeah,
Uh,
Axrid has his Hullbreaker. Axrid is ready. Axrid knows his job, and his job is to commit mass property damage. Here, Renji getting the vision. Looks like he is going to be the one that the Outlaws have decided is going to match this Trundle. Unfortunately, and Grotus going in. Sees the recalls. Dark Binding blocked by the box. Gurf ult Sani is called the Forge God. TP in from Mako. He is very strong. That's a 2-man knockup. Oh, never mind. That's just Shaco and his clone. Seems Renji goes down. No kill
Axrid's here
answered
though.
yet. Axrid's here. Mako. They're
Ooh,
going in onto Axrid with Maki as paranoia plus Mako's damage. Station's caught. Station going in for the trade kill on Gurf. Maybe it will be enough. That is a 1-for-1 at least. And Grotus looking to pick up Defly. Will he have enough damage? Defly opens up. Defly gets the kill. Defly will go down though as Mako just cleaning up the rest of the fight, going able to kill Nairo. Heartbreaker's over the wall, unable to find Defoe. I mean, by process of an elimination, Mako should be able to pick up this kill, but Defoe has boxes. Yeah, Mako actually sees the boxes, does not want to fight this. Very scared about the state of his base.
yeah,
So,
they almost got a full Nexus tower there. Uh, Definitely doing a lot of work on this top side. If they get another inhibitor, it is going to be very hard right now.
yeah,
Both these teams
did
going to be fighting over this fifth drag.
Yeah, drag number 5 coming up. The entirety of the Outlaws team had to recall in order to deal with the wave that coincides with the respawn of Marauders. And it looks like both teams are making their way to this dragon. Both teams want to get this soul point.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what the Call of the Forge God especially can do there. He has upgraded Mako to that deicide, but right now the vision control is going the way of the Marauders.
Yeah,
However, the
Defy
Spore
over the
Crab is
wall. And
down.
Grotus looking for the assassination. Doesn't have enough damage. Pops to hallucinate. What the Outlaws aren't doing anything, but Station is caught. Station will go down eventually to Maki's paranoia. That is 1 kill for the side of Outlaws. Axrid looking to be the next. Defy is untouched.
Mako.
Defy is opening up. Mako is also going over the wall with the Heartbreaker. Defoe will go down. Maybe looks like he's
Ooh.
out. The red buff is not enough. Heartbreaker over the wall, though. Mako wants this kill. The rest of his team is going onto the dragon. Mako flashes forward. One blade, the Ruined King. It will be the Spectral Maw that gets the kill. And Grotus, the only member of Marauders left alive. Maybe he's looking for the Dragon Steel. Deceives into the pit. Will he get the smite? He will get the smite. That will be a Dragon Steel for Angrotus at the cost of his life. But that just has to be the Baron, right? The Outlaws can just walk from the Dragon Pit to this Baron Pit. The entirety of Marauders is dead. And you get the steal, you deny Soul Point, but you do give up Baron. I mean, I guess you can debate that even if Angrotus didn't die, he might not have been able to stop the Baron, but
Yeah, and Renji's so happy about it, he decided to just throw his face into the wall there. But this is going to go down so quickly, and that push is just going to become almost insurmountable, I'd say, especially with this Baron and the inhibitor being respawned now gives a lot less priority to the side of the Marauders.
yeah, I mean, all of the bright spots for Marauders are slowly fading out. The early kill onto a Renji that was set up by Angrotus, I mean, Axford on this Trundle, he's done considerable property damage, but in terms of being useful in fights, I mean, teching into the Hullbreaker second, he is nowhere near where he needs to be. Nairo in the bush, maybe looking to pick up Gurf, but the ward is enough Dark Binding to add insult to injury. I mean, Nairo has no tank stats pretty much. He has a Proto Belt and a Bramble Vest. Like, that is not enough. You are 1-7 on the Galio. You are not going to deal enough damage. Your Proto Belt isn't going to give you enough engage.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why he decided to go for the AP build, considering that he went Aftershock as well. But we'll have to wait and see. And Grotus looking to get something done, but they're just going to get caught out.
Yeah, and
Everyone on the
Grotus
side
on
of
the wrong side of the map. Paranoia comes down, chews over the wall. Maki flashes onto the clone, but Mako uses the Heartbreaker, gets the kill onto Ingrados before the Galliol comes down. Now Nairo in a very bad spot. Justice Punch interrupted, has to flash away. Heartbreaker will go wide. Call of the Forge God, though. Where's it going to go? It does hit Nairo. Looks like Mako is going to kill Defoe first, though. Defoe definitely an easier target to kill as he sort of just walked in. DeFly looking to open up, throws the cask wide, has to flash out, but the Dark Binding will secure Nairo. Station taking a lot of damage, barely gets out of the Contaminate range, will save his life, but it's just him and Axrid that are alive. Axrid takes the bottom inner turret. Yes, that's cool. RNG probably won't have a fun time defending, but the Outlaws might be able to go for the end soon. They choose not to, looking instead to pick up the gold from the inner turrets on the side.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a smarter call. Just get more of the gold from the turrets. You don't have as fast of pushes. You want a nice Dark Binding, though, and that's just Engrotus.
Marauders are getting caught over and over and over and over again. Mega Inferno Bomb on the wave, but that's Baron minions, baby. You deal no damage as the top inhibitor will fall. That is the second inhibitor to the Outlaw's name. We see Nairo goes up with the Proto Belt, gets the Justice Punch, but doesn't do enough. 4-man, 3-man taunt, but no one's there. No one's following up. Paranoia onto Station. Maki might have overstepped a little, goes down to Defoe. Fight is so far a 1-for-1. Low health bars on the side of Mako and DeFly. Maybe the Marauders can get something done, though. DeFly pops stealth, opens up, forces the flash from Defoe. He goes down to the Poison Station. Again, way too far forward, gets picked up by Mako. And that looks like it's going to be the game. And Grotus looking to pick up DeFly. Will it be enough damage? The 2-shift poison is not enough. DeFly living on a sliver of health. And Grotus cannot do anything. Axrid cannot do anything. DeFly is shooting the Nexus, and that will be 2-0 for the Outlaws.
Yeah, that was a good job by the Outlaws there. The Trundle just not able to do enough there in the end. Very good job getting that first inhibitor, but after that, the Hullbreaker was kind of troll, and I think, like you said as well, they kind of just lost in the mid game to the Shopkeeper. Going for some interesting builds. So we'll
Double
have to wait.
Laundry is in Proto Belt. That's borderline reportable, right? Like Defoe could have gotten like Luden's Echo. Like he already did 41k damage. You know, even with the Leandries, most damage in the game. He was doing very well in the early game. Yes, he did get picked off at the end, but so did the rest of his team. I mean, the Marauders had something going for them. They used their early leads, and then they threw it away. Honestly, very disappointing performance by them. Really hope they can turn around for game 3. Otherwise, it might just end up as a clean 3-0 sweep.
Yeah, definitely a strong performance in the turnaround there from the Outlaws. But with that, I think we will throw it over to another little break, maybe get some analysis, and catch you all back in Game 3.
Alrighty, we are back after game 2 of Marauders versus Outlaws. Outlaws taking another win game 2 to put themselves on match point off the back of Mako, player of the game, going 14-1-10 on Viego. Uh, Viego balanced. What do you have to say about it, Wolven?
I have to say again, yeah, that Vigo is a very balanced champion, right? Nothing's wrong with that champion. He's not broken or busted in any way, shape of possibility. But I just have to say, I, item diff. A lot of items that were that would build on the side of Marauders were quite interesting.
Yeah, definitely some stranger choices that we saw in the last game. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but not to discredit anything the Outlaws were doing. Definitely very well played macro again after just extremely aggressive play from Angrotis. Just permanently living in the Outlaws jungle and just being a force of
Yeah,
being just a nuisance, really.
I have to say, Ingrotus played really well. That the Marauders played really well in the early game. I guess the only lane that did really poorly in the early was the bot lane. But other than that, everyone else was doing what they're supposed to be doing. Was winning their lanes, was getting, their items early as possible. And you saw like Trundle got like a early inhibitor, super
Yeah,
early for his team.
really early.
But the issue is that it's just like I said before, like Nairo was building AP on Galio, which is fine, but you're going Aftershock and you need the tank items. You need to be the front line. Yeah, you have Trundle, but like he shouldn't be the only tank on your team. They were running a really super like squishy comp that needed that front line, and Galio's
Yeah.
a really good frontliner. And then on top of that, you saw Draven. I don't know if you build Collector on Draven, but I don't think you build Collector on Draven. I could be wrong, no.
There are
Um,
situations for it, yes, but yeah. So what do you think the Marauders have to do in this situation to
I feel
basically
like the
get back into this series?
comfort picks. I feel like you need to give the bot lane a comfort pick. If you give bot lane a really good comfort pick, I feel like they can hold their own against the Flying Girth. As you saw, they kept on giving Girth and they kept on giving the Fly their comfort picks. The first game, I didn't know the Fly played Vayne, but apparently the Fly played Vayne, and he played it really well. Like he was comfortable with it. Same thing with Girth. Girth played really well in the Lulu. He only died twice the entire game. And the same thing with Morgana. He's really well known for his Morgana. So I feel like if you do the exact same thing with the Outlaws, but with the Marauders, like you give like I want to see Nairo's Nautilus, I want to see Nairo on his Alistar, I want to see picks from from the Marauders that I know these players can play. I know that Shishin can't really play Draven, and I know Shishin can't really play Sivir as well. But I know he's a really good Jhin. He's a really good Aphelios. I don't know about his Ashe, but I think he's really comfortable with Ashe. So like I want to see comfortable champions that they both can play really well. I feel like if you fix that, you fix the entire comp because as you saw before, Ingrotus was doing his job. Defoe playing out of his mind. And, Axrid, getting, winning the top lane early. Yeah, he had a rough first game, but other than that, like he played extremely well.
Yeah, definitely. So this looks like Marauders need to tighten it up a little bit on the bot side, stop bleeding out. Really, at these dragon fights seems to be where things keep going wrong for them.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like a couple times now that Mako has just been jettisoned into the game after just a mistake made by the Marauders, either at Dragon or the dive mid lane. But
I
yeah,
have to say, Mako has only died twice this entire series, guys. Twice. That's pretty insane in my opinion.
it's pretty good, definitely really good, and it does look like we are ready to go into the draft. So we'll go ahead and switch it on over to our casters, Kevbo and Daydream. We'll see you after game 3.
All right, here we go. Getting ready for draft of Game 3 right now. In our grand finals of the LAS draft right now, Marauders up 2-0 on the Outlaws. There has been a side switch this time, so Outlaws will be on blue. But definitely going to be an interesting one as we get into our draft here.
Yes, I am just getting things set up. Okay, I do have the draft link. I can see the draft. Very PogChamp indeed. I mean, what do you want to see? What adaptations do you want to see from the Marauders to turn this around? Because right now it has been Mako domination.
Yeah, honestly, you need to ban some more Mako champs, I think. And I mean, it was so hard to win last game just with the builds. So maybe changing some stuff up a little bit. I don't know if you need to download Blitz in between games. Maybe help you out with the builds a little bit, but we'll have to wait and see. Definitely need to see some more flexibility, regardless, I think, from the Outlaws. Not necessarily even just in champ select, but in play calling and in building. I think they need to be a little bit more flexible uh, with just some of their choices.
And they go with the same bands, the Yone, the Lulu, and the Echo. And Nocturne locked first for the Outlaws. Third game in a row for Maki. I mean, I don't think Maki has been like the hard carry of the Outlaws, but it's been working out. He's been doing pretty good. The Paranoia obviously applying a lot of pressure. I guess they really want to put Maki in this facilitator role. And when you have a mid laner like Mako, you can afford to do that. You, as the jungler, you can afford to say, "Hi, my mid laner is cracked, and I'm gonna let him carry."
Yeah, absolutely. In that Nocturne, you can follow up from halfway across the map pretty easily. So definitely allows for a lot more engages as Marauders going to pick the Gwen here. I'd imagine that is going to be going into the jungle again. And Grotus had a very good game on it, but just wasn't enough the first time around. We'll have to wait and see what they do end up deciding to go towards here. I'd imagine it will probably be an ADC or a support. Yep, there's the Leona lock in a very strong champ. And they're
That is
looking
what I
for.
want to see. I want to see Nairo on Leona. Like the Blitzcrank, it was like almost there. You know, I mean, it's not really that Nairo champ. Galio, also almost there. When you build Proto Belt, maybe not. But Leona is spicy. But you did leave the Morgana open for Gurf.
Going to negate Leona. So on top of that, that is so strong. He is definitely one of the top tiers in that top lane at the moment.
And that is
Um,
a vein. That is a vein for Station into set Nocturne. Station is throwing down the gauntlet saying that he is going to carry. I mean, has to, deal with being in the shadow of Defly's Vayne game one performance. Yes, he did. Yes, Defly did get caught out a bit that game, but he still played very well on that Vayne. And Station needs to be able to live up to that performance plus more if he wants to be able to bring this series to a fourth game.
yeah, absolutely. Outlaws trying to figure out what they want to ban here. Are going to ban out that Wukong. Might look towards a Trundle ban as well. We'll have to wait and see, but I'd imagine Marauders gonna ban another ADC here, honestly. Or the
But
Aurelia
maybe
is a shout.
Irelia.
Um,
But
and the
Arenji picks
Ziggs.
set.
Yeah,
Unless they think that. I don't know.
if
I
they could
mean,
be thinking that Mako's taking the set mid. I've I played with Orenji before, and his set is kind of nasty.
I
um,
mean, the Outlaws making the draft adaptation to pick Orenji set before it gets banned. I think that makes perfect sense. Orenji in the top lane on both the Irelia and the Ornn has been overperforming expectations. Makes sense to give him the priority pick to allow him to carry in the third game. And a Camille locked in for Axrid, giving Defoe counter pick. Let's see. Camille into set should be a pretty skill-intensive matchup. Let's see what the Outlaws respond with.
Yeah, just going to pick up a safe ADC, I'd imagine. Going to allow, um, if they do pick the Ashe, allow for some engage with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and just a lot of safety with that champ. So we'll have to wait and see what does happen. I definitely do like the amount of CC that is coming out from the Outlaws right now. Pretty
Yeah,
much
the
everyone on their team.
Outlaws putting the fly on Ashe duty. I mean, this entire series has really been about, I guess, Orenji and Mako. I guess it makes sense that the fly really wants to just facilitate those, two players on his team as the Vigar is hovered.
Uh-oh,
They're
Mako
gonna be
going
locked
for
in.
another scaler, possibly. They definitely need AP, so we'll have to wait and see. I think this one is going to get locked in, though.
Yeah, I mean, Vigar would be scary, locked in
Oh,
on the side of what? That's not a Vigar. I
that
saw
is...
the lock-in animation, blinked, thought it was a Vigar lock-in, but no, that is Katarina on my Summoner's Rift.
Mako's looking to absolutely pop off again here. We'll see if he can do it. Gonna need a counter pick here for the side of Marauders.
What
And
does Defoe want to play into this? Does Defoe play anything that can beat a Katarina? But
okay,
shit,
I mean
Lissandra will do it, that's for sure.
that's definitely a good pick here into the Katarina, but that's a spicy pick coming in from Mako here. We'll have to wait and see what he does end up doing with that one. If he's able to take over like he did in the last game, it's gonna be real hard. It's gonna be real hard uh, for him. But uh, we'll have to wait and see. I definitely do really like Orenji on this set in the top lane. He's been so dominant in lane, putting him on a champ that is going to be able to do even more with that lead later into the game. I think is going to be very nice.
Yeah, I mean, I guess by locking in the Katarina blind, he must know about Defoe's champ pool, which is traditionally squishy immobile mages like the Ziggs, like the brand, but Defoe whipping out the Lissandra, that seems like it'd be a pretty good answer into this Katarina. And with a fairly low damage comp on the side of the Outlaws, Set does have a lot of true damage, but that is if your team insta W. If the team can properly play around the Set W, he won't be doing that much damage. You locked in Ashe. Ashe doesn't deal damage. Ashe is there for the ult and the 600 range slow. But I don't know. It's really up to Mako to pop off on this Katarina to be the damage dealer of his team. And he's going to have to do that around a Leona, around a Lissandra, around a Camille ult.
And I think though we do have to point out Gurf back on this Morgana again, looking looking for a pretty strong showing, especially after the last one. We'll have to wait and see though where this one does go. Right now we're just going back through our picks and bans. Uh, I really I don't know what to say. Think um I think that Marauders have definitely drafted themselves some winning matchups, but it just comes down again to that execution, which even with the early lead that they had in the last game, they weren't able to finish it out. So we'll have to wait and see if they can take this one all the way, push us to a fourth game.
RNG hovering the Corki, we could have had an LDR Corki top. Probably wouldn't have won because it's LDR Corki, but RNG just giving us a little taste of what could have been.
Yeah, absolutely. As we keep going here, Mako on the Katarina. I am very excited to see, especially after the last couple of performances of what he can do on that champ.
I mean, how can you play Katarina this game? How can you play Katarina into a Camille Leona Lissandra? Like, Mako is a great player, probably the best performing player out of all 10 of the players in Champion Select, but there is a limit to what you can do. And Mako's
Yeah.
Katarina is going to have to be significantly better than the entirety of Marauders to make this pick work, to make this comp work.
I mean, that's
And
kind of what you're saying to begin with when you pick a assassin in the mid lane. You really have to say, I'm better than everyone on the Rift right now. I mean, even on a champ like Akali, it's that's the kind of thing you have to do. You have to pop off.
but
So
Akali has like a shroud. Akali is Akali things. Katarina, while yes, she is a very 1v9 champion, almost seems like fairer in a way. Like,
yeah.
she has more clearly defined weaknesses, and that weakness is hard CC. Like, I look at Outlaw's comp and I wonder how they win a fight. It has to be like they have to win a fight off of Marauders making mistakes. I guess to the credit of the draft, Marauders have been making mistakes. A lot of them, in fact. We've watched that firsthand, but if the Marauders are able to tighten up this play, I do not see, why this won't go to a game 4.
Absolutely. We'll just have to wait and see on this one. But for now, we are going to. I don't know whether this is the countdown for us or the countdown for them to load in the
I
game.
I think it's the countdown for them. I think we got a lot more content. And for more
Aw,
content, I want to talk about Station's Vein. So
hog.
we saw game 1, Station pick Lethality Sivir. I personally think Lethality Sivir is not what you pick second pick on blue side. That's up to him. He performed pretty decently, did a lot of damage. Granted, part of that was because he's Lethality Sivir. Didn't get cut out too much. There did seem to be a bit of a disconnect in the bot lane between Station and Nairo, but that wasn't really like I wasn't really exposed until game 2, where Station picked the Draven into Twitch and then lost the matchup. Now, for those of you at home, that is not in fact a losing matchup. Draven Galio should win lane against Twitch Morgana 90% of the time. Now, game 3, I guess, when you're in a do or die situation, you want to go to comfort. Now, Station probably does have a lot of experience on this Vayne. Vayne Leona into Ash Morgana, it's sort of hard for both bot lanes to like really get a 2v2 kill advantage on the other. I mean, Ash ulti at 6 is really easily avoided by Vayne Tumble, and then all of Leona's CC is pretty easily mitigated with Gurf's Black Shield. However, in terms of the lane harass, that is a 600 range Ash versus I believe 525 range Vayne. Don't quote me on that. It's either 525 or 550. I think it's 525. Either way, that's not going to be fun. Defly and Gurf are going to have the natural lane advantage. In the previous 2 games, it was the lane advantage based on champions should have been for the side of Marauders. It should have been the Sever Blitzcrank bullying out the Vayne Lulu. It should have been the Draven Galio bullying out the Twitch Morgana. Now, if those went so poorly, I do not know how badly things are going to go for the Vayne and Leona this game. And it's not like they have a jungler that can bail them out. They have a Gwen. Gwen isn't really known for her early ganking prowess. And Station and Iroh are going to have to play significantly better than they did the past 2 games if they don't want to just get hard bot gap. Which, I mean, it's a valid strategy to switch things up. Maybe playing the scaling matchup and just playing safe, is a mental reset for Satan and Nairo, and maybe they can turn it around. But they're going to have to prove me wrong if they want to win this game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be an interesting one. Marauders currently down to but we'll have to wait and see how this one does go. We're going to kick it to a break, and we will catch you all in the Rift. All right. Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. Live right on the pause, huh?
Welcome to the League of Pause, but this pause is actually useful because there's a lot I want to talk about. Namely, if we take a gander at the summoner spells, you see Mako has opted for the Cleanse Teleport Katarina. Now, while you might think that, yeah, that makes sense, Cleanse TP against Lissandra Leona, you have to consider a few things. One, you cannot cleanse Camille ult. The Camille ult will interrupt the Katarina ult, and you will be unable to cleanse it. You will be very sad. Two, that means you have no ignite. And on champions like Katarina, you sort of need ignite to guarantee some reset. So not a fan of that. Another thing too, we have cleanse on Station's Vayne. Now, again, there is a lot of CC. There's the Ashe ulti, the Morgana Q. Actually, no, honestly, that's about it. That really could fuck over Station. I mean, I don't think Ashe Morgana is the most lane threatening. It's not really the most lane threatening, I guess, duo. Like, you can just wait to get a QSS. I mean, now Station has no heal, which would really suck against the Nocturne and the Katarina. Yes, Katarina does have inbound Grievous Wounds, but a small heal is still better than no heal. Speaking of this Nocturne and this Katarina, Nairo has opted for the Ignite over the Exhaust. So, again, there is nothing that is going to stop this Nocturne, this Katarina, even this set from coming in and punching your squishy champions. So not really a fan of the summoner spell choices. We do see a cleanse for Defly. I think that one is fine. You know, against the Leona Lissandra, like, you're not really going to be targeted as much. And I think the cleanse for Defly is really helpful, but not a fan of what I'm seeing on my screen right now.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting one. We'll have to wait and see whether or not these teams are going to get back. Interested to see whether or not we're going to have level ones come out here as we are getting ready, I hope, here soon to load back into the game after some technical issues from one of our players. But we'll have to wait and see. It is going to be a Infernal Dragon up first, which means it cannot be an Infernal Soul. But we'll have to wait and see how the Drag Soul does affect the terrain. But for now, we should be almost ready to go for this game.
Oh, are we going to see play resume? Yes, we are back onto Summoner's Rift. We do not see that weird orange-gray scale. We see colors and we see League of Legends. Now, is there going to be another invade from the Marauders? The past two games, they have gone top to varying success, thanks in part to Secret Agent RNG. Seems that Axford and Grotus are moving through the top tribush. Axford potentially baiting? Trangrotis, this isn't a standard 5 point. Nobody's mid. Not really sure what's going on, but it looks like a makeshift line of scrimmage will be drawn. No one's getting wards into the enemy jungle. Maki, though, walks up, drops a ward on his own feet, and walks away. That's cool, I guess. Again, not as much level 1 action as I would hope, but I guess both comps don't really have the strongest invade. I guess maybe with the Morgana Ashe, you could do something, but the Outlaws electing not to.
Yeah, you don't want to put down early wards near Leona because she can just kill them very quickly with the auto Q auto combo. And Grotus and Axford, though, going to invade late on the top side.
Yep, they are seen by the legendary secret agent Orenchi. Looks like he doesn't want to mess with it though, just walking back to the top lane looking to get prio over Axford's Camille. We
He does
see,
have to be careful, though.
again, it looks like Maki has full awareness, probably just going to split the map like it happened in game 2. You see everyone just getting to lane, having a fun old League of Legends time. Maki moving down to his Krugs, while Angrotis actually moving back into his jungle will be spotted by the ward that Maki placed. Angrotis just going for his Raptors.
Yeah, and Maki doesn't really want to invade here because of the lack of prio. Renji looking for a trade, but the shield coming in off of the Camille passive going to prevent a lot there.
Yeah, just looking for these early trades. Sation and Nairo getting the early level 2, but it wasn't early enough of an advantage that anything can go, but the Zenith Blade comes in. Black Shield pop too late. Stun goes down onto Gurf. Station looks like he's winning out on this early trade. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Axford and Orenji just sort of beating up on each other and on the wave. We see Maki in the mid lane though. Mako goes in. W pop by Lissandra. E's away. Shunpo follows. Will it be a kill? Like I said, there's no ignite. You can't secure that kill. And it looks like Defoe will be able to escape without burning a single summoner spell.
Sticking around though. We'll have to wait and see whether or not a kill might come
Oh,
up.
Zenith Blade comes in. This time the Black Shield does block the Leona Q. Station getting a good trade. Meanwhile, on the top side, Orenji getting the trade onto Axrid. But Station, while he does get some damage onto Gurf, allows Defly to free hit him. That will be 2 winning trades on the sides of the Outlaws.
Renji very extended here. We'll have to wait and see whether or not Ingrotus wants to. He's actually just going to recall instead of contesting that one. Doesn't want to give Set an early kill. Gurf gonna get some money off of the pool there, and Renji just going to try to push in this wave, prevent the gank. They now know that Angrotis got the top.
Oh, it seems that there's a bunch of flashes going on, but Station, the one getting the first blood, but Gurf and the minion wave looking to answer the kill back. Very close play in the bot lane. Eventually will result in a 1-for-1 in the favor of the Marauders. The Station does get that first blood. See
Yeah.
Nairo just... Will Nairo die here? Oh, has the Leona W. Nairo playing with fire a bit.
And Renji just trying to get Axford to come forward a little bit further than he might need to, and if not, does just get the slow push in the top side. Maybe going to look for a little bit of a cheater recall here soon. At a sizable CS lead already.
Again, Renji for the 3rd time of the series, pretty much gapping Axrid in the top lane. Oh, gets a trade down, but Renji with the Haymaker. But he takes tower shots. That's actually Axrid favored. So Axrid now has the freedom to clear out this wave. So Renji getting a little too greedy there.
Renji, I think actually just a little bit of a mechanical misplay there. Did not land the second auto, instead W'd before that. Might have been able to get a little more done there. That extra turret shot that he was going to take anyways would have just empowered his W even more. But instead, just going to push him in and look to walk towards the mid lane a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like. I mean, Nairo and Station sort of assuming wave control. If you look at the inventories, that is double longsword dagger versus boots dagger refill pot. So this Vayne actually going to be able to farm a little more safely now that she has the extra AD to help contest the wave.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll have to wait and see. Renji does get that wave push into him. Maybe I'm going to look up to set up a little bit of a freeze as he's getting close to level 6. I would imagine the all-in potential should be pretty good for him.
Meanwhile, in the bot lane, we see Station able to successfully crash the wave. Defly probably not going to be able to make a freeze out of this. Yeah, as you see, the minions are going to meet in the middle. Nairo went to go get some vision on this Infernal Dragon, and Station just recalled, picking up the Noon Quiver for himself. Axrid, full health, pops the ult onto a Renji, looking at the kill. The set ult does not bring him out of the Hextech ultimatum. Axrid looking to get the solo kill, forces the flash. Is that going to be enough? The Ignite went down, but no, it looks like Renji will survive with his life. Maki possibly looking for a counter gank, decides against it.
Yeah, and just a little bit of over aggression there from Orenji. He knows he's strong right now, but so is Camille in this early game.
Yeah, we see on the other side of the map, though, Angerodis opening up onto the dragons, able to pick that up. And that is a pause again. So, technical difficulties are technical difficulties. Tell me about how these lanes are going, Kevbo.
Yeah, I definitely think it's pretty interesting how it has gone thus far. We'll have to wait and see what does become of a little bit of a pause here. Not much has happened in the mid lane, which I am kind of surprised by. Defoe can get on top of this Kyrina very easily. So if I was the Gwen, I would be looking for gank after gank after gank in this mid lane. Especially after you try to burn a cleanse off of Mako. But we'll have to wait and see what does become of this. Set will continue to scale against the Camille here, but later on in the game, it's it's still very much a skill matchup. I think on that top side, Camille has to be very careful about the damage coming out, especially from um, a face breaker from the set. If it gets fully stacked on the grit, can be an insane amount of damage. On top of that, Arenji is going to start looking for some team fighting as well, I'd imagine. If he can get a frontliner like the Leona to walk towards him, just ult them to the backside, land some big damage with the stun into the W. A lot of survivability and a lot of damage on that set. But for now, just really seems pretty even across the map. Axrid has evened back up at CS on the top side. A little bit of a CS lead for Angrotis, but otherwise seems to be pretty chill pretty much everywhere. Pretty traditional League of Legends, at least I'd say, in the current meta at the moment.
Yeah, one thing I want to point out is that Defoe's TP is down, while Mako's TP is up. Well, yes, the first dragon did go down already, so that is not something that you are going to be able to use your TP advantage to force. I want to see if, the Outlaws can force a fight on one of these side lanes and have Mako TP down. However, if Defoe is able to sort of read the play, he will be able to E in and W or ult to stop the teleport. So it's going to be a bit of a mini game to see whether or not Mako can turn a side lane fight if the Outlaws choose to go for that play.
Yeah, absolutely. And we should be looking to get back in the game here. There we go. Didn't even get a countdown that time.
Yeah, I mean, we see we're back on the Rift. Axrid has actually evened out the early CS disparity using that winning trade that he was able to take against Orenji that almost resulted in a kill. Look at CS numbers on the other side. My game is a bit frozen. I do not know if it is the same for you.
Yeah, it does appear that it has frozen a little bit. We
Oh,
should be getting back very quickly.
we're very
200 years of game development coming in there real quick. Uh, but we'll have to wait and see how this one does end up going. Renji just going to clear the wave.
Yeah, we see as well on the other side of the map, the Fly with a small CS lead over Station. Yes, Station was able to get the kill and the early items, but it still is a bit hard to farm as Vayne into Ashe, but we see Angrotis and Nairo on a stealth mission looking to take Maki's camps. They do not go for the fight on Maki while he's on his Krugs. Nairo sort of just playing bodyguard duty while Angrotis takes these Raptors for free. Well, Gurf is going to walk into the jungle. Are they going to be spotted? Chilling in the bush, they see Gurf. Gurf doesn't see them. Opens up with a snip snip and the ultimate needlework. Black Shield plus Flash. Will it be enough to get him out? And Grotus doesn't have Flash. Nairo doesn't either. Gurf will be able to survive with his life.
Yeah, but walks back from lane and just has to recall again. They might look for a dive here with Leona. Shishin trying to shove that wave in.
Yeah, but you're a Vayne. You can't shove that wave that fast. Mako is potentially looking for a roam down. Defoe reads that is going to follow. Nairo misses the Zenith Blade. You know, Orenji and Axrid looking for a trade. Axrid does have the level lead, but Orenji does have the health lead. Maki looking for something in the spot lane. Mako and Defoe have gone back to trading in the mid lane. It looks like it's going to be the 3v3 if a fight does break out.
Oh. Solar Flare did land there, but immediately followed up by the granted Crystal Arrow and the engage from Nocturne going to pick up 2. Mako might run down Nairo as well.
Yeah, and like I said, the teleport from Mako was the difference maker. Station, dies on the back of that fight. The ultimate is going to be enough to pick up Nairo, and that is a fight in favor of the Outlaws.
Yeah, absolutely. Great job from them. Going again a little too hard from the Marauders. A nice Solar Flare. Did get some good follow up, but did not account for the jungler being there as well as Mako's TP going to get down there.
That's a rookie mistake. Your mid laner burned TP and their mid laner didn't. There's no reason to go for that play. Speaking of going for a play, is Defoe will use the Glacial Path to get out. Dark Binding goes wide. Fear does not finish with Ingrotus coming in just to escort Defoe out. Axrid and Orenji still trading blows. Level lead still there for Axrid, but Orenji is still holding his own in these trades.
Yeah, Axford needs to make sure that their trades are short. Mako getting caught out here, though.
Mako cleanses the ult, but that is not going to be enough. The needlework from Gwen is just too much damage, and like I said, this cleanse not really being the move. It's you have to consider like the opportunity cost of taking cleanse over something like the ignite. Oh, Defoe gets the root onto Orenji, not opting in to take the fight. They do know Angrotus is behind them. This could be a 3v2. Mako is respawning and has no TP, but side of Marauders is pretty split.
And Maki might get caught out here.
Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Nairo going in for Defly, uses the Q onto the Black Shielded Defly, but it looks like they turn their attention onto Nairo, but the Zanya's Station now taking a bunch of damage. Nairo, the next one to go take damage. He goes down. Station makes it out with his life, but that is not what you want to do in this lane.
Yeah, definitely some unfortunate stuff there coming in. Shishin just took an insane amount of damage from the Ashe there.
You're playing Vayne into Ashe. You just don't have to do any of this. Yet they try and force plays only to their detriment. Now that is going to be plates picked up by Defly. This gold lead is going to definitely favor Defly, as my game was stuttering a little bit, but we go back in. We see the trade Axrid getting good damage onto Orenji. Definitely holding his own a lot better than he did the past 2 games.
And Orenji going to try and fake a recall to contest some waves, but is going to get pushed all the way back under his tower. Meanwhile, though,
and Grotus was spotted in the top side. Outlaws know they can just take this for free. That's a free dragon for the side of Outlaws. Stops the dragon stacking. We are in a Cloud Soul, though, so that is... it's not horrible, but Mako sees Grotus. He has a 2-level lead, but does he want to take the fight? Pops the Shunpo, pops the ultimate, but the needlework does scare Mako off enough. I don't know if he had to back up, but the paranoia goes in, and Maki is able to pick up Angrotus, overextended yet again. Station and Nairo looking to answer with plates, knowing that Defly and Gurf had to recall, but that is simply not enough, as there is already a bit of a gold lead for the side of the Outlaws.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal stuff. Axred doing very well in this matchup on the top side. I'm very surprised after his performances in the last 2 games has really turned it on in this one. That is going to mean some damage, but just as I say that, I think I caster cursed him. Renji going in for the fight is going to pick it up with that W there, and a little bit of a caster curse coming in as they're going to pick up a solo kill and the Rift Herald here, and he's just going to immediately drop that one top. They're just going to take this tower and back right off. The Fly is going to get a kill as Shishin goes in. It looks like it will be Gurf trading his life. No, going to now as I lost my co-caster for just a little bit. Gurf
Yeah.
trying to walk away, does land the stun, and Mako's here now.
You see
Mako.
Mako going in. It seems that I have been a bit desynced, so after this fight we will do a bit of a break to resync. But again, another fight won for the Outlaws. That is the gold lead in for them, as we're going to go to a bit of a technical break. This will be possibly like 10 seconds at most. Sorry for the inconvenience. All right. Thank you, Riot Games, for your buggy spectator client, but we are back in the action as there are trades happening between Orenji and Axrid, and we see a play might be brewing in the mid lane. Mako staying a bit too far forward, tries to get out, but he has Gurf. Gurf here, the hero to save the day, pops the black shield, but it's not even needed, and Mako wants more. Mako wants Angrotus. Mako going in, picks up the dagger, but he might have bit off more than he can chew as he goes down to Defoe. Nairo in there as well, just in case things started to go south, but Mako on this arena not getting the results that he needs.
Not getting the results he had hoped for sure. I don't think we can call that thing or that anything other than what it was, which was a little bit of an int from Mako. Gets out alive because Gurf is there and then goes right back in and dies. Definitely some unfortunate stuff here. But Stet was able to pick up that tower on the top side. That is going to be the first tower blood going down for him.
Yeah, and Orenji was having a little trouble against Axrid through parts of this game. Yes, he did get the early push, but Orenji, again, turning it around, proving himself to be the currently stronger top laner. Maki is spotted in the bottom lane by the Tribush ward. Station and Nairo, I assume, are just going to be playing back, playing safe, waiting for Angrotus to come in and bail them out.
Yeah, absolutely. Mako going to look for some trades there, but is just going to end up mostly just clearing some waves with that passive on the daggers. We'll have to wait and see what these teams do decide to do as the next drag is coming up in 50 seconds, though. Nairo looking for some vision setup. Gurf
Nairo looking for
trying to
the
clear
mid
out some.
lane. Nairo gets a stun onto Mako. Everfrost comes in, gets the root. That's the Leonol, but the Paranoia comes in. But will they kill Mako first? Yes, they will. Maki is alone in a 1v2, but that might be enough. Gets a fear, gets a flash. That's a 1-for-1 traded. And it's just Orenji coming in, misses the phase breaker onto Nairo. Will that be enough to get him out? It looks like it will. Orenji making a bit of a mistake, but it might not be of too much consequence. Yes, he gave up that kill, but at the end of the day, the Outlaws still have map control.
Yeah, you trade mid for mid, but because your top laner is here, that means this dragon is absolutely yours for free, even with the lack of vision setup. Going to be nice for them. And Grotus looks like he might want to venture on over here, see if he can contest a little bit, but I imagine just going to give that one away. Defoe going to channel his TP, and that should be it for now. However,
Oh, Dragon goes down. Defoe goes out with the Glacial Path. We see the fight going in. Seishin goes down as well. This could be Outlaw's favored. Mako is full health. Axrid does trade Maki, and he will pick up Gurf too. That's 2 for Axrid. Meanwhile, Orenji on the other side, the Haymaker is enough to fly though. The 3rd kill for Axrid on this Camille.
And the top player's doing all the work for both the teams here. Axrid doing a lot for his team there. Got 3 kills in that trade. Orenji with a nice combo does get a big old punch to the face, takes down 2. But they shouldn't be able to take this tower too quickly with Axrid here. Instead, not going to contest at all. And Grotus comes over the wall.
Oh, and Grota's over the wall, but the tower goes down. We'll see. It looks like nothing much is going to happen next.
Yeah, Set kind of just going all over the map, punching these towers, taking them down super quick. As we have to wait and see where this one is going to go. Rift Herald only has a few seconds left and is actually going to just, or actually, I guess, is only going to have a few seconds once it spawns. In fact, might not even spawn this second one. We'll have to wait and see. But Mako going to continue to push in that mid wave. I do want to call out here Marauders, or sorry, Outlaws. Doing a pretty good job with the vision here, but we'll have to wait and see, as I think we might be throwing it to another little break just because of some desync. But first, a nice tower dive going to come in on the bot side, but with that, we are going to take a little bit of a break, and we will catch you all in just a second.
Sorry about that. What we missed is the Outlaws absolutely shit stomping the Marauders, because holy cow, they were ahead a little bit, but now the gold lead is about 4.8k. So yeah, we see RNG 3-0 on the set. Maki and Mako both 5 kills on their respective champions. How do the Marauders turn this around? If we see Orenji going in for the kill onto Axrid, we'll be able to hookshot out. So at least he has that going for him.
Yeah, it's very hard to kill Axford because of that hookshot, but 3 member is going to venture up onto this top side. However, Gurf is always here to bail his teammates out.
Gurf's gonna save the day. That's TP from the Katarina. Ashel goes wide, but Defoe might be in trouble. The ult is going to be enough. Gurf actually picks that up with the tormented soil. Shunpo forward from Mako. And I guess that's just going to be a 1-for-0. Both teams looking to disengage the fight. Outlaws exercising their well-earned control over the map, but it looks like Angrotis is the target. Paranoia comes in, dashes away, but the Leona CC, will Nairo be enough? No, Mako gets the kill, but Mako is in the wrong side of this fight. Shumpo's out, flash forward from Nairo, but there will be no CC. Station is autoing a minion, finally turns his targets back onto Maki, but it won't be enough. Goes for Nako, needs one more auto attack, but Orenji goes in, gets ulted by Camille. This might be a bit more than he can chew. Axrid is able to pick up the shutdown onto Mako. Now fighting Orenji, he's winning that one too. Haymaker won't be enough. Hook shot. Oh, but the ult! The ult is enough, and Orenji avenges his fallen Katarina, but DeFly finds Station, the assassin Ash. Now Defoe is in the wrong side of this fight. Defoe looks for the glacial path away, doesn't take it, instead ults himself. The double stopwatch, I think. Yes. No, that's just a single stopwatch. That's a really long stopwatch. He goes down anyway.
Yeah, it seems like a little bit of a waste of time there for Defoe. Was going to die anyways, and that will mean another tier 2 on this top side. You would
I'm gonna
imagine
be
Defy
real.
going to pick that one up.
I thought it was a double stopwatch, but apparently no. Gurf and Orenji just whiffed their CC. I mean, it worked out well for them, but, you know, Defoe, at the end of the day, end up dying. And Grotus picks up the Cloud Dragon, probably. He's about to finish it off. That's a bit of a consolation prize. I mean, even with this draft, the Outlaws are still dominating.
Yeah, they're absolutely on top of this one, up about 8k at this point in the game, and Mako, even in a game that he should be struggling, is doing very well. Hook shot not going to come out. Orenji's here.
And Grotus walks past Orenji. Neither of them, I'm sure Orenji wanted it. I just don't think he saw Angrotus. Angrotus with the fast feet, able to get out. It looks like Baron might be on the menu for the Outlaws. They definitely have the gold lead to start this objective. I mean, they're going to first assert dominance, and Grotus might be a bit too far. Glacial Path not going to be retaken by the Lissandra. Orenji, though, Orenji wants blood. Orenji wants this Ash Arrow, which hits onto Nairo. But that is a very tanky Leona. Nobody wants to fully commit, but that's a lot of damage. Mako able to get the first kill, and Grotus, though, a more appealing target, goes down to Mako's Katarina. Flash from Gurf, not gonna hit Axrid, but I respect the attempt. Station is in the bot lane. Who knows what the hell he is doing, as that is gonna be Baron for the Outlaws.
Yeah, and this one is very free. Vayne is going to pick up a tower, but I don't know if that's going to do too much for her. And that will mean even more push coming in from a team that has already had a very easy time pushing in, especially Renji on the set.
Yeah, I mean, Station got an outer turret. That's cool, I guess. Maybe? Trying to be optimistic here, but when half of your team is just unwilling to make these last stand fights, you know, nobody is able to really help Axrid. Axrid really the only one with some semblance of a lead, and you could still argue that Orenji would beat him in the 1v1 if both of them were to fight right now. You know, Defoe 2-5, and Grotus uncharacteristically just not being able to make an impact onto this game.
Yeah, and we will just have to wait and see. Shishin is just trying to scale at this point. Renji going to be here, going to prevent.
Oh, interrupts the glacial path. Defoe is going to be in a very sticky situation. Ults himself. Maybe the rest of Marauders are able to save their icy friend. Orenji is being caught out. Orenji goes down. Shutdown goal crucially onto Station. I mean, Orenji wanted to flex his muscles, and he got punished for it. Zeki getting punished. DeFly getting picked off by Axrid. Point blank enchanted crystal arrow is not going to stun for long enough. He burns the flash. What are you flashing, bro? What? Meanwhile, Nairo gets caught out by the dark binding. Mako, the shining star of his team, able to get that kill onto the Leona. I mean, the Outlaws are still winning, even if they're making these mistakes. They are far enough ahead that it honestly does not matter.
Yeah, and that gold lead actually has come down just a tiny bit, but still up about 7K on their opponents. That will be our fifth drag here in just about a minute and a half. We'll have to wait and see what these teams do decide to do. I think for the side of the Marauders, you might just want to concede this one and look to play on the other side of the map. Just because you're not fully giving away soul, you might be able to get a little bit of that gold back by picking up some towers on the opposite side of the map, but we'll have to wait and see what they do decide to do.
If if you're going to make your final fight as the Marauders, you're not making it over third Cloud Drake. That is not the hill that you want to die on for this team. Unless you really fully believe that the Outlaws will int like they just did. Speaking of int, though, Nairo and Station might be cut out. Nairo has to flash away. Mako, a good zoning ulti, good solar flare. I mean, Nairo's flash is forced out for pretty much nothing, but at least he didn't die.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have to wait and see. And I am so shocked here. Mako on this Katarina has 14 stacks in that BM book. Uh, in a game that should be very hard for him to do too much in. Just because of the amount of CC, but we'll have to wait and see what
It,
does end up happening. They will not contest this
it
third Cloud Drake.
Yeah, I mean, and Grotus, trying to get some gold for himself, definitely probably the only play that he can do, but Mako, he's free to come. That's a level 16 Katarina. The Death Lotus is really not going to be able to do anything to Angrotus, and it looks like Angrotus is going to walk away. Actually, recalling in Orenji's face, though. I don't know if you want to be that close to the set.
Yeah, and Marauders just needed to be there on the waves, pushing way earlier than that. We'll have to wait and see. And
And Grotus gets caught out by the Dark Binding. That'll be his 6th death of the game, as he is just trying to get farm. He is trying to do anything he can to get back into this game, but the Outlaws know that. The Outlaws know that he's going to greed for a camp. Speaking of greed, jumps over the Enchanted Crystal Arrow as DeFly does get picked off again by Axrid. I mean, he doesn't get the kill, but let's be real, that was all Axrid.
yeah, that was very stylish from Axe right there, jumping over the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. However, full control of the jungle here. Dark Binding barely misses as well, and they're just pushing their vision line more and more forward. Should be able to pick up hopefully something else here very soon. But I don't know how easy it will be without some Baron minions, as everyone seems to be A-ramming at the moment.
Black Shield doesn't stop the slow. Mako goes in onto the Shuriken. He does get stopped. Station is the first one to go down, but will Mako go down? No, he won't. He will live. He has a Rift Maker. He is a level 17 Katarina who is absolutely running this fight. And Grota is trying to do what he can, getting some good damage. All of these champions are doing damage, but none of them are getting kills. That is a 4 for nothing on the side of Outlaws. They do not even need to fly. They can just keep doing whatever they want in these fights. It can start to look grim for them, but it doesn't matter because they know they have the mechanics to absolutely outplay. TP coming in from Mako. They look like they want to end this series here. First respawn for the Marauders is going to be Nairo in 3 seconds. Then it's going to be Station in 7. Will that be enough? I personally don't think so. That's a level 17 Katarina. Dark Binding hits Nairo. Enchanted Crystal Arrow. He can't move. He is dead. What's Station going to do? Station maybe gets an auto attack before the game ends. That will be it. 3-0 for the Outlaws.
Yeah, Outlaws absolutely showing up on the day. Phenomenal stuff from them. GG's all around. Well done to our champions. LAS Draft Summer 2021 champions will be Outlaws. Well done. Absolutely phenomenal performance from every member of the team here. In our last game. I really don't know what to say. They were the better team on the day. Absolutely popped off. Mako doing very well. Orenji phenomenal in every single lane he played. Overall, just well done. And congratulations. We'll have to wait and see um, who is going to be our player of the series, player of the game. Uh, but that's really all I have for now. Any closing thoughts, Dream?
Oh my god, what did I just watch? Mako can do whatever he wants and win. I think that's the lesson that we learned today. That was utter domination from a single player, pretty much. Yes, the rest of Outlaws did play well, especially shout out to RNG, really popping off in that top lane. But Mako just took over the game. There wasn't really much anything anyone on Marauders could do against Mako.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well done by them. But for now, I think we are going to throw it to our analyst desk and possibly get some analysis, maybe even a possible interview. But we'll have to wait and see. But for now, I think we are just going to throw it to a little bit of a break.
It's the best one, and you shut your fucking mouth.
Okay, fine. I'll let
It
it
is
say.
Welcome back, everybody. As we have your winners of LAS Draft, the Outlaws. What do you guys have to say?
Yee?
We took you!
Let's go, baby.
The writing was on the
hi, Mark.
walls! It was always yeehaw!
Oh, it is.
Alright, I'm done.
yeehaw. We're feeling really good tonight.
We wanna. I'm gonna take the time to give a big thank you to. I mean, everybody's like, "Oh, it's the Mako show." Absolutely not. I wanna pause that right now. That game was Gurf and Gurf alone. It really looked cool for me. I played Katarina. I had the cool fingers, but I couldn't have done it without Gurf, who kept me in the game for so long. He made so many plays that I wasn't even needed for. So that game, thank you to Gurf. Shout out to Pig for drafting. Banger drafts. And I'm gonna let my team talk now.
I just want to give a shout out to Mako for bringing me along on this fucking ride. All I do is just hop on the train.
Yeah, okay.
TOS.
Yeah.
Run stream.
TOS, run stream.
Oh no, oh no.
Okay, it's okay, it's okay.
Run stream.
We'll figure.
I don't
We'll.
really have anything to say.
Oh, come on, Chris.
I definitely have my points to that if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
I am so incredibly proud of this team. Everyone played fantastic. Everyone was communicating, and everyone at the end of the day, we were having a fun time together. So I just want to thank all the boys on the team for a great split. And regardless of where we went, because when we went to playoffs, I'm like, no matter what, boys, this has been a fantastically fun series and split with you guys. But we pulled out the stops. We were ready to go. I had faith in my team, and look at us now, baby, to the Hall of Champions. Woo!
Alrighty.
Yep. Chris, do you have anything to add?
Nope.
Renji?
Shout out to Gurf. He's like,
Actually.
he's actually like the reason we made it so far.
Yeah. Just
Go
a
ahead.
big shout out to Gurf because I am the.
Yeah.
From what I hear, I won't get a chance to play with him again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we won't have the luxury. Griff, you did say
Yeah.
this was your last split, right?
Yeah, this is my one and only LAS draft split, so unfortunately I will not be playing next split. So I'm really glad it got to be this fun. I do have one final shout out, but I'll let you guys finish off anything you guys want to say.
No, I'm finished. I'm
I'm
glad
done.
to be done.
Yeah, it's all
happy.
you, Griff.
It's all you.
Shout out to Funksy's mom, and that'll do it for tonight.
All right. Congrats again, guys. Very well played series. And that'll tie it up for the night then. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you.